Hey, and welcome to Crippled System episode 194. I hope we're live. My name is Andy.
I can't log into Twitch because I never got around to changing the password because I'm scared I'll change this password.
Oh, yeah.
My name is Brian.
My name is Nathan.
My name is Jake.
I suppose I could actually...
Your name is Quimby.
No, it's Jake.
Yeah, it's Jake.
The guy who's been talked about a lot on the podcast and has been edited out the most.
That's probably true.
Him
and Mr. Bucket.
That was not edited.
You edited, oh yeah.
I did I?
Yes.
Yeah, you bleeped. Yeah.
I simply said, what did I say exactly? Something about I wish you killed yourself. Would kill. Not what you did, because if you did do it. See, I can say it now because you're here. And they said it was rude to say it if you weren't here.
There's some other things going on with that.
But you're here now.
See, I change it up by just wishing I had killed myself.
Well, I mean, we all
You
wish
guys
that.
were very angsty that episode as well.
What am I not angst? We're all
Wow. I mean, you don't shop at Hot Topic, so you're not the full angst yet.
Last night was a full,
A full angst?
death is coming and there's nothing I can do about it night.
Oh.
Those are good ones.
What
I
was
lost
it?
a lot of sleep Monday. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Monday was one of those? Yeah, no. Last night for me, it was like, I'll just be awake until 3 in the morning because, yeah.
I can hear my breath.
Yeah.
I can hear death coming.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
But I did a very adult thing today. I set up. I had my second meeting with a financial advisor. So now I have someone randomly I'm going to give all my money to and just trust things happen with it.
Just hope they don't steal it all.
I've learned that trusting myself was not a good idea because I joined one of those places online and I looked at all the options like holy fuck I got to back out because if I click any buttons here I'm just going to throw my money down a well. So I'll take a.
Yeah, finding a good guy you can trust for that's actually pretty difficult,
Yeah.
especially with the deregulations they've been doing.
Why's it got to be a guy?
Did you introduce yourself?
I said I'm Jake.
Basically,
And then he said I'm Quimby, and then we just kind of had a banter. It was a
Quimby
good
was
time.
mentioning that women can't handle money
That's not
efficiently.
what I was saying.
Exactly
Katie
what
proves.
yeah.
That
well,
is
Katie's-
not.
Yeah.
That's not what I was saying at all.
I'm just proud I have a 401k like a big boy.
Yeah.
It makes me almost think that someday I'll be able to retire.
Megan basically armbarred me into setting up the 401k through work.
More likely, like 10 years from now, when the country goes bankrupt, the 401k will just vanish. I'll wish that instead of putting money there, I had just spent it on like blow and gold.
Yeah.
Bullets.
Oh, yeah.
You can never have enough bullets and guns.
That is true. All of life's problems can be solved if you have enough bullets.
I plan on solving a few someday soon.
Yep. Okay, Nick.
Is that who your financial advisor is?
Yeah, just 12 gauge shotguns.
I would go a much higher gauge than just 12 gauge. I go with, get some M16.
That's not a gauge.
But so, okay.
Counterpoint.
Quick question. This has always been my confusion about a gauge, like for
Smaller
shotgun
number,
shells.
bigger shot.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
pretty check.
I did not know. I know, bullet size and that.
Yeah, because it's the pellet size. It's basically how many pellets in a certain volume. I don't know how they measure
Okay.
it, but so if there's 12 of them, they're smaller than if there's 2 of them.
Sure.
I guess a bullet would just be 1 gauge.
Indeed.
Do we have any announcements? I think there's a tournament coming up this weekend down in Chicago.
This weekend?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did they skip last Saturday? I thought it was always the first Saturday of the month.
Second Saturday.
Saturday.
It's always
Saturday.
second
So
Saturday.
they didn't skip. Well, they did skip the first one because they always skip the first one.
But they have it's a pick your poison event, which means you have to bring down 3 full lists, and
Your opponent gets to veto one of them.
yeah. Which it sounds cool. I know there was an option that was being thrown around to some of the press gangers before everything got shut down, but I'm not a full fan of it.
Amongst people who hate Divide and Conquer, which is all rational people because Divide and Conquer is terrible,
Yep.
that was one of the possible fixes.
I stumbled across someone saying why it was so good. I'm like, oh, what a moron.
No, it's good because you can just be fucked over and there's nothing you can do about it. That's skill.
But you just make 2 perfect lists, Nathan.
I'm gonna choose the one list that completely hoses all 3 of my lists, and then that
When it
list is
creates things like Nemo 3 versus Nemo 3, then we can all laugh. But
I did that once. Nothing happened for that whole game.
Yeah.
Fireflies stabbing each other.
Yeah, there was a lot of fireflies stabbing each other.
Yeah,
But that event's happening. I think there's an event in lacrosse next weekend.
There's been a lot of Star Wars Destiny launch events for the second set.
There has been. We had a board game day during.
So the
one of those.
Chicago event is like 2 days from now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like when this goes not live, it'll be.
No, this will go live probably tonight. I will actually have the audio at least uploaded. Probably not linked on the forum until tomorrow.
All right.
But yeah, we're live. I think.
Maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know. Nobody knows.
Nobody
It's a Thursday.
knows.
Nobody's listening.
No, well, how is that different than any other time of the week?
It's a valid point. We usually have 1 or 2 stupid people in there talking, and Travis.
Well, someone tell Travis to check and see if we're online. My
Well-
phone doesn't have Twitch anymore either.
Well, I double checked Twitch. We're broadcasting on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I just assume we have no audience.
That's
Everyone finally got smart and GTFO'd.
So here's a funny thing is, yep. Glad we agreed. All right, moving on. Well, he laughed, so I apparently had already told the funny thing. No, so I mentioned that I wanted to rewatch Babylon 5, but it's not streaming anywhere, and so.
That was so good timing. I mean, that wasn't on purpose, but that was amazing. I don't think that's going to go through the audio at all, but oh my God.
So here's a funny thing.
Right now on Babylon 5, you can watch it online now.
Jake Frey nodded me at work the other day, and I almost strangled him to death. You pile of shit.
What did I do?
What? The monster cable story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Fucking
I'm so
A.
sorry.
Like, I'm telling the story, and I'm saving the big reveal for the end, and like 2 sentences before the end, he just goes, "Hey, wasn't his character dead the whole movie?" It's like, it's like that situation.
I felt so bad about that,
Yeah,
too.
as well you should. Like, sometimes I mean and just make you feel bad about things you shouldn't feel bad about because it's too easy. You should feel bad about that one. That was shit.
I don't know what I was thinking about either, because I'm like, is he forgetting the best part of the story? I guess he is.
I was
better
saving it
ask.
for the dramatic finale because that's what you do.
Yeah, I just.
It's like you're halfway through Empire and somebody's like, "Isn't he Luke's dad?" It's like, yeah, we were getting to that.
It's like right at the beginning of the lightsaber fight.
Yeah,
I really hope there's one person who hasn't seen Star Wars.
Does he get his head cut off?
yeah. But it's like Jake like pops just like, "Hey, did you forget to tell him he's his dad?" So anyway, I mentioned that I wanted to rewatch all of Babylon 5, but it's not streaming anywhere,
Yep.
and DVDs, blah,
This
blah.
website's on now.
Fucking just Glennings. Just all these Glens everywhere. So at
And Veronica Mars, too.
At Adepticon, one of our listeners kindly loaned it to me. He actually had his wife, like, he checked. He's like, "Hey, do you still want that?" I'm like, "Sure." And he said, "Okay, I'll have my wife deliver them to the hotel." So she brought them and whatever. And so I borrowed them. I was all excited. And then, like, 2 days later.
Delivered?
Yes.
All right.
And then, like, 2 days later, it's streaming on Verizon. So, yay.
That was a great story.
It would have been faster and better if you weren't shitheads.
I'm not sure it would have been better.
Ooh, that was a good one, though.
Oh, I actually finished watching Legion.
Neat. No one cares.
Oh, man.
I have not made it past the first episode of Legion.
So I just rewatched the whole thing yesterday.
I'll be picking up on it.
I'll be watching it again soon. It's just...
It's all on the DVR. I've been waiting for Jim. We've been working on other series. We're gonna eventually get to that. So
I like this is a tiny thing, so it's so subtle it doesn't even matter, so it's not even like a spoiler or anything. But one of my favorite little things that I had kind of noticed the first time through, but I was able to verify the second time through, is one of the characters has like telekinesis. You know, it's like boom, make that thing go. But he never has anything go any speed other than holy shit, did that thing break the sound barrier? Like, so there's no make a pen float gently across. It's always just boom. It's just funny to me. And so I don't know if he literally can't, like if he just has full speed or not using his power, and whether that's a personality thing or just an actual restriction of his power. But it's just like, they just need a door open. He just like twitches his finger and it lands in some other time zone.
He was in he was in the first episode.
Yeah, he's in the first episode.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's like enemies, and so he's like hitting them really far, but like you never see him do anything except that full velocity.
Okay.
And so I just don't know whether he just like, fuck gentleness, just let's wreck shit, or if he literally can't do it gently.
I'm guessing that he can't.
It's probably true.
Yeah.
I always said it's irrelevant, but it's just a fun little thing that I noticed.
I did have some Arby's, so I might have issues today.
I haven't podcasted in a while. I forgot how to do it. I haven't.
You
I think
remember not to be a shithead,
It
though.
was the last time that
it
we
just
were
comes
doing.
so naturally.
The last time we did a podcast, you were on it.
No, I was here and I
That
laughed.
was like
because-
2 weeks ago.
You
Yeah,
had
it's true.
You had 2 people here. You had like 2 extra. We had 7 of us here, and 5 of them wanted to talk about War Machine. So I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah, and that was like 3 weeks ago. He hasn't been here since.
I haven't been here. Event Horizon came.
The movie?
I'm sorry, Horizon Dawn.
Okay, that's like
Horizon. Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Horizon Dawn was even. I was on because once that came out, I did that, so I missed a week for that. I haven't been on here. It's been over a month and a half. It's
No, I did not realize
been a
that.
while.
Yeah.
It's been good times playing video games.
I'm going to set Gloomhaven on fire on Sunday. That's what you get.
No. Then I should have taken it to your house to make it easier for you.
Well, yeah, that was the plan. I guess I shouldn't have told you that before you brought it to my house and set it up.
I'm going to bring something else.
You just
Like, I
you
was
just
just glad
glad
at planning the
yourself.
red wedding. You know?
Guys, get over here so I can murder you.
You just glenned yourself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get either. I sent the information to both Keith and Marshall. One of you 3 should get Gloomhaven because it's a cooperative, awesome board game.
Yeah.
And Jim wants to play it, but our group filled up, and it's only 4 players. And
So you forced to just stop IKRPGing and just play that instead.
well, I mean, you wouldn't get it for like 9 months, but you guys played a ton of Shadows. It's just another fun
Yeah.
game.
Well, yeah, because Marshall was rebuilding his RPG system,
Yeah.
so we ended up doing Shadows for a while. And we broke the game really fast. So,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Shadows is a game you have to kind of self.
You have to self.
regulate.
we
Regulate,
basically had to get rid of the Devil's Circle or whatever it was, that town event where you can just throw a die into the middle.
Yeah.
Because me and Keith especially got good enough at it that we could just always get it in the middle.
Keith and I.
Well, the thing is,
Keith and I were always good enough.
like the
to
day
just-
that came out, you guys got rid of it, and I did a thing where they read where you could do it once per visit total. Like it was a one-time thing, and that was max. It wasn't like you could do it every day, multiple times, because then you break the game bad.
Yeah, because we all had like full gear load out by the
Yeah.
end of the first town visit.
And see,
So don't do that.
yeah.
I had a couple-
the game is as soon as you overpower your characters, you stop and you start over. So if you overpower your characters first adventure, you've just broken the point of the game. And you might
Yeah,
as well
yeah.
just-
We just kept going through, and then me and Jim decided that what we were going to do is open every door we could find
yeah.
Jim and I.
to cause problems for everybody else. And we ended up increasing hitboxes and doing a bunch of other things to at
Yeah.
least see if we could get enemies to activate before everyone killed them. It was a fun game before it went haywire.
Yeah, as long as you just have to kind of control the pace of the game.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, like I could have maxed out my character. It was similar to Keith,
Yeah.
and I just ended up choosing a different path.
I had a couple of lucky draws from the gear deck too, which made things worse. But Keith got a second trusty pistol,
Yeah.
and he was like agility 7. So he was,
I vendor sold our second lucky pistol that we got.
okay.
Because
Yeah.
when we vendor trash, you can never get it back again. That's how we've been playing. It like vanishes into the mist.
Yeah, we've been doing that too.
That's what Nathan does too with his lucky pistols. He sells them.
Yeah.
But I think I first backed that game almost 2 years ago, and the final wave I should be getting very soon. So that I'll have my collection is already ridiculous. I'm going to get another third of models very soon, and then next year I'm going to get the whole Japan themed one.
Yeah. No, it was a ton of fun, and once, especially when I started asking you about it and getting the monster expansions.
Yeah.
That helped out a lot too, because those were so difficult to deal with.
The core monsters for the game are not very smart, and they're not very difficult.
They were fine up until some of the expansion games. The upgraded town gives you a lot of equipment that's just better than the starting monsters.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have the upgraded town, the starting monsters are fine for a lot longer. But the town, there's just certain pieces of gear you can buy at certain vendors, and then suddenly those starting monsters are like, oh no, we got murdered,
Yeah.
and we're sad.
Even with like the final end of level elite monsters, we were just like, before they even activated, we could just scoop them off the table.
Well, yeah, you guys were also making it so that your characters never died, and you just replenished instantly where you were standing with full health and just murdered things, so they never had a chance. Like you had changed these things.
I don't remember.
Like I saw you guys playing once, and you guys were dying to the enemies, and then just immediately respawning with full health.
Yeah, that was a change Marshall made. That wasn't a part of our campaign. I think that was one we did on Thanksgiving, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, that wasn't
little
our
weird.
campaign. Yeah, Marshall made that change. I don't know why. I was hoping. I was trying to like get it so that like death was just that was it.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be, unless you have a revive token,
Yeah,
which,
no, like-
which depends on how many members of your party you have. And
Yeah.
elite
Well, I mean,
level.
you're supposed to roll on the injury table and wait and come and get.
Yeah, he was having him like immediately do an injury and
Oh,
just
yeah,
stand
that,
back up.
That kind of breaks. That's the whole point of.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I was trying to like.
You're supposed to
86
fail
that.
missions
Yeah.
in the game. That's the one thing is
Yeah.
sometimes you do not pass those missions.
I was trying to get rid of even that and just be like, as soon as you went down, you were gone.
I mean, not to badmouth and like, creativity and house ruling and whatnot. Do what you want to do, but it's hard for me to listen to complaints about a game when I know that you guys weren't playing the game.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many of the rules you changed or
Yeah.
altered, and so I don't know. Like,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Once you change rules, who knows if the game's good or bad?
I don't mean to complain about the game because I actually really, really loved playing it. It was a ton of fun, and Shadows of Brimstone was great. It's just the difficulty curve on it, we kind of screwed up.
Yeah. Well, it's, you can like if there's certain characters that are better than other characters, so you can go in and go, okay, let's not take all the 4 best characters. Let's take let's mix and match what's good. And if I know this is the best character, I won't optimize. I mean, it's fun to optimize characters in certain games sometimes. When this game is all about kind of advancing until you can get to a certain point. It's just a matter.
Yeah.
It's really as long as the group is getting out of what the group wants to get out of. Shadows can be very accommodating to that. Like if you want to play all orphans, which are the worst character, have like a group of 4 orphans, that would be challenging for almost anybody. But that can be really fun. That's almost like Dark Souls version of Shadows of Brimstone.
Yeah.
Everyone's playing an orphan who just can't do a jack shit, and now you just want to.
We're all on a quest though
Yeah.
for something.
Well, unless you're like X-23 orphans, those
Yeah.
things kick ass.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
Richter.
But we're gonna have like more character classes for that game coming out soon with the new set. I'll have 3 new
Yeah.
ones, so it'll be fun. It's a fun game, but
Yeah, Keith being a drifter certainly pushed the power curve up, and I actually think everyone but me had one of the top level characters because I was a Bandito.
Bandito.
Bandito's awesome.
It was
We have
fun.
Travis and Nick in chat. We got the full complement. Nobody else matters.
No one else matters. Just the duo, dynamic duo, is non-Euclidean. Nick would be Batman, and Travis would be Robin.
And like if they were a celebrity couple, they'd be non-Euclidean Nick Irazu.
Ooh, I'd watch that TV show.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. But yeah, so it's weird. I don't know, but I could recommend like a month and a half worth of stuff.
Yeah, well, Adepticon was like 2 years ago, so that's not even worth talking about anymore.
Yeah, I mean we played 5 I think we played 5 games of. Well, I think maybe only 4. We played 4 or 5 games of Gloomhaven since I've been here last.
Yep.
So it's been 4 or 5 weeks.
Never played that game.
Well, I mean it's you haven't.
What are you thinking of? Oh, speaking of Adepticon, what do you think of the
Sorry.
Rune Wars game?
Rune Wars I've played a couple times now. I'm enjoying it. I mean it's just the starter box is out, so it's
Yeah.
But I know there's like 4 boxes coming out in May and like 6 boxes coming out in May, like little expansion boxes of
Yeah.
things. But it's neat. I mean, it's a rank and file game, and I miss rank and file. And if Fantasy Flight can support it, which I don't fully believe they could do, just because games like that need to have like releases come in at a pretty steady pace. And I mean, I just don't know if they can do that.
What am I supposed to be doing? You want me to hand you a fire truck?
Yes.
Here
But
you go.
currently,
Oh, don't.
But currently, I've been enjoying. I mean, I think it's a pretty clever rank and file game. I like how the
Yeah.
initiative system works. Like each side picks your dials for what your units are going to do, and
Yeah.
then you work your way up. So it's a very interactive, like turn by turn, which miles are going first, and it's kind of neat that way.
Did they take? I played the Star Wars.
They took ideas from both X-wing and Armada.
If you get touched, does it just stop your movement completely, like it did in Star Wars?
It does, but then when units, so you align up or whatever. You don't just
Okay.
like stop at weird angles, unless it's terrain is handled a little bit differently. But like units
Yeah.
will just form up. But it's pretty neat. I like the models. I know one of our local stores is going to kind of support it, and
Which one's that?
Imboard is going to. Well, Pegasus is going to order some stuff, but I know Imboard is going to try to get a game night for it.
That's cool.
So we'll see what happens. But I mean, I got a bunch of I got 2 boxes from Adepticon from people for pretty cheap, and I got a bunch of store credit on board, so I'll get a bunch of for expansions for basically nothing. So it'll be a little side game.
Yeah, no.
I got rid of my Guild Ball because no one played it locally, so that was not working as a side game. So we'll see how it works.
Oddly enough, you got rid of it the week before Pegasus is trying to start up.
Well, I know. I talked to James about it, but I'm like, yeah, I mean, they can try. Pegasus isn't because it's. I find that Pegasus requires one of their game store employees to be passionate for any of their ideas to go, and since James is their manager there, they have a chance. But like if you say let's run a game night store, and I'll show up on Thursdays, but if you don't get like the support from the store, it's going to go very very not anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I'm board's a little bit better when it comes to getting these things started. But because James is excited for Guild Ball, maybe it'll last this time, which would be cool. I mean, it seems like a very nice game, and I know plenty of people who have stuff for it, and they all seem to like it. So I mean, I need them to have a time to actually play it. But I have been selling so many things lately. It's been glorious. Like there's all these holes in my shelves. There's Nathan's playing with a transformer.
I can't get his head to come out.
Oh, you got to touch him in a special place.
I feel like this part should be flipping or something.
No, if you get him excited, he'll come out.
You don't know how to.
Well, I got him that far, but see this part. See, I can see his head right there. This obviously is chest, so that needs to flip. But it feels like I'm breaking it. I don't want to force
Let Andy embrace this.
Let me break it.
Hot rod.
I'll break it.
No, you would.
There's this new.
I transformed him last time.
There's this new
I know. I want to figure it out.
This app game just came out that's supposed to be pretty fun. It's like a fighting game for Transformers. It's on the iPad and iPhones.
Yeah.
And I just want to play it just so I can unlock Hot Rod and play around and make Hot Rod cool. That's my only goal.
Hot Rod was cool.
I mean,
No.
I don't see. I mean, obviously he's the best Transformer. There's no other Transformers in this room.
he replaced.
This is obviously the podcast. He is literally the icon of our podcast.
This just seems like
He's a better Optimus Prime.
Here's a documentary of my hatred of Hot Rod.
Why doesn't this?
You
flip?
have,
It
the only,
feels
yeah,
like
you
it
have
should
two
flip.
things that show how amazing he is. You
Yeah,
have the
no.
movie where he takes leadership role.
The most violent film I've ever seen.
This film?
Yeah, I watched it with Marshall, and it's not actually that violent, but it's surprisingly violent for what I was expecting.
For a kids film, yeah.
Yeah.
This movie itself actually caused the G.I. Joe to get changed.
Oh, really?
Flip. That was a little stiff, and so I thought I was breaking it, but that's actually how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, you get
That's
it.
what she
But
said.
no, have you seen G.I. Joe the movie?
No.
Okay, so you don't know the greatness of Serpentor. So
I don't.
G.I. Joe the movie, Duke. Do you know who Duke is?
I
G.I.
imagine
Joe.
he's the main
Dennis
one.
Quaid.
Oh my God!
He's Dennis Quaid.
It's not.
Dennis
He is
Quaid?
Dennis Quaid.
He's Dennis Quaid.
Not in the cartoon.
He's not.
The
They made
cartoon
a
he
live
was
action
supposed-
G.I. Joe film?
Yeah, with
Yeah,
multiple.
two of them.
Wow.
With Dennis
Yeah.
Quaid.
Oh, was it the one that had Magic Mike in it?
Yes.
Yes.
In 1.1 of them.
Okay. How's that possible?
That part doesn't come off, Nathan.
Well, it feels, doesn't this stand up? That's
It opens.
platform.
It opens.
Is he wearing skinny jeans? I feel like this guy's wearing
okay.
skinny
He's got
jeans.
those lead-ass
It,
legs.
it looks like his knees should work, but they don't seem to work.
No.
Doesn't it? I guess they're just separate pieces, but yeah. Go Rodimus Prime.
He's like two-thirds
But
leg.
Duke was supposed to die in the G.I. Joe film, and because of all the backlash that happened during the Transformers movie, where they just eliminated basically the entire first generation of Transformers,
Yeah, very, very fast.
very fast and very viciously, they decided to have Duke stay living.
There was one part in that movie where I think it's how he even shoots off a ramp and lands, but he crushes two insect Decepticons when he lands right at the beginning.
Those Insecticons, they're easily killable.
Yeah, but it was
They're
still
just they're just trooper guys.
surprisingly the fact that they just crushed him. They were talking just a
Well,
scene earlier. and I'm
What
like,
about Ironhide
whoa.
trying to stop Megatron, and then Megatron just shoots him in the head
Yeah,
right then and there?
They need new toys.
The fact that Travis corrected me on something on this topic is kind of amazing. I
He's
didn't realize
infernal. It's his official judgment that Dennis Quaid is Hawk and Channing Tatum is Duke.
I mean, that's fair because I just threw a Duke and I was 1% confident in my answer. But the fact when Travis doesn't watch movies, you're like Travis. When you ask Travis movie questions, he doesn't know because he doesn't understand.
Well, he only watches G.I. Joe
Evidently-
movies. He doesn't watch
I know.
any other GI Joe trivia you want to give us?
Yeah, it's just suddenly. I mean, Doctor Who does play Destro, which is kind of cool.
Sure. And Dennis Quaid, well known for playing Han Solo.
Yeah, it is his best role.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Okay.
Is it better or worse that he took the time to look it up on Wikipedia?
That's actually probably sad. I actually would have had some respect for him if he had just known that. The fact that Wikipedia now puts him back in solid Travis status. Which is still above
Yeah,
Cookie
his
status,
knees look
but-
like they should be moving.
Not very hard to do, man.
No. But someone has to be at the bottom.
It's cool.
What was the name of the villain? So I this is just tangential with G.I. Joe and Transformers and shit. But I saw on Facebook you're scrolling and there's always the T-Fury commercials where they're like, hey, get this T-shirt today only for a nickel. And it's all stupid, nerdy shit. That since we're in our 30s and 40s, we shouldn't wear Transformers T-shirts, but we do because we're man-children.
Yep.
I am 24 years old.
Shut up.
Nobody gives a shit. Anyway, so they had one that was the Reservoir Dogs shot, with them all in the suits, but each of them had a different 80s villain head. So, like, one of them was...
Probably Mun-Ra.
There was Mum-Ra in mummy form.
Yep.
Yeah, there was Mum-Ra, there was Skeletor, there was Cobra Commander, and there was Megatron, and then there was the one from Dungeons and Dragons. I don't remember. Did he have a name?
Dungeon Master.
No, Dungeon Master was,
I know he was
the
the
little good guy. The guy with the one horn. Because Tiamat would show up every once in a while, the dragon, but the actual bad guy, I don't remember what his name
Travis
is.
Comic was an Andre.
Wikipedia.
I'm surprised. Yeah. Well, Travis will tell us in a minute what his name is.
He'll get on to
I don't know
Wikipedia.
his name, but he wore he was a
there's
suit of
a-
armor too, wasn't
Well, he
he?
was red and had the one horn sticking out the side.
There's a D&D cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds pretty
These
rad.
kids get sucked into the thing, and they each have, like, one weapon and whatnot.
Oh, yeah?
And, like, the douchey kid just got a shield. Like, the hero got a sword, and the other guy just got a shield.
So we got two options: Vecna, Force of Evil, or
Probably Shadow Demon. That sounds really familiar.
Okay.
I've got a whole chibi set of all the old Dungeons and Dragons from the cartoon.
That's awesome. My introduction to Dungeons and Dragons was actually my high school banning it. And that's how I found out about Dungeons and Dragons, and it was awesome.
Well,
You mean Mazes and Monsters?
The fact your high school banned it is weird because you were in high school like last week.
I-
So to be that recent, it's really weird.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I understood it when it got canceled in the '80s because it was terrifying. But I mean, you graduated in
Yeah, it was Venger.
15.
Oh my god.
Look at Venger kicking ass. Look at that guy, Jake.
Okay,
That actually is pretty
let's
sweet.
even assume you graduated high school in 2013.
I graduated high school in 2010.
That's still ridiculous that they would ban. Because
They also banned Harry Potter.
well, that I understand because he's evil.
Yeah. It was all part of the same wave. They banned Fahrenheit 451 too.
Yeah. Almost like that's a sign of things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
did the irony stick fall out of the sky on their heads?
I don't know, man.
You went to Michigan? You said, right?
Yeah, no, I went to. It was when I lived in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah, I mean it was a very religious community, and so a lot of things.
I didn't
got
know
banned.
there was religious people in Michigan. I mean, I was
He
surprised.
thought it was just like the extras from Mad Max.
Yeah, I didn't think
Oh,
there were.
I wanted to go down to a dark hole, and I chose not to. I'm not going in that dark hole.
What dark hole?
Not that dark hole.
What's your name?
No, nothing. I'm good.
You want to go to the black hole? That movie was great. With Maximilian, the red robot.
I don't remember much of the black hole. I remember having the 45 record for
Yeah,
it.
sure.
I remember having the little one. I remember listening to it all the time. I had the little page through book for it.
I had the pop-up book.
And my favorite one out of all of them was the junk one, the junk little robot guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the southern accent. The one that Slim Pickens voices.
Yes, he was awesome. I liked him a lot, and I was sad. Yeah, I think he died, didn't he? Didn't he sacrifice himself for
I
something?
believe so, yeah. But no, Black Hole's fucked up. They're like, hey, let's like cash in on Star Wars. We'll make like a friendly kids version of Star Wars, and then everyone will die, and then they'll literally go to hell.
I don't remember that part at all.
Yeah, at the end, they literally go to hell. And it's just flames and screaming souls, and then the credits roll. And there's no resolution or anything. It's amazing.
I don't think I've seen this version of the black hole.
That is the ending of the Black
My
Hole.
childhood is probably. I don't think that was the ending in the book.
It is,
That
because the scientist who's...
No, not in the book. I'm talking about in my little
sure, the movie.
golden
In the
stories
pop-up book,
book.
when I pulled the lever, the computer console would smash the scientist villain. But so they get sucked through the black hole and it goes to hell, and then Maximilian's just like reigning over everything as Satan, and it's like fucked up. It's like a whole movie of the tunnel scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That scene. Gets
Black Hole is a whole movie of that. It's just fucked up.
I'm just reading the Wikipedia. I'm taking a note out of Travis's book and just
Oh,
reading
boy.
the Wikipedia page.
Oh God, we don't
Right.
need to.
The point is, I'm not exaggerating. It's a Disney
This is
movie.
so
It's a
messed up.
live-action Disney movie, and at the end, they just get sucked through a black hole and go to hell, and everybody dies. Well, some of them die before they go to hell. And then the end.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
that's how it ends.
Yeah, that's how it ends. Happy birthday, kids who came to see the fun new Disney movie. Yeah, Disney went real dark. They call it the Dark Ages, the early 80s. It's the Disney Dark Ages, and it doesn't refer to, like, being low quality or anything. It's the fact that they got fucked up for a while. They did stuff like that and Black Cauldron.
Was it Sword in the Stone then,
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
That was kind of
the first Rescuers film, I think, was around that time, too.
Yeah.
Which, like, you can read the notes in the background of what's happening to that girl, and it is depressing.
Yeah. Both Rescuers movies are pretty depressing. But yeah, Black Hole is terrifying. It's was their first animated non-G rated one, I believe.
Oh, really?
It was like PG-13. It was scary. Or it was PG because PG-13 didn't exist at the time. But it's scary as shit. They decided, hey, let's just fuck kids up for a while and make Black Hole and Black Cauldron, and both of them will ruin Nathan. You don't care.
I do care.
Did you see those ones? I'm right on.
I have watched Black Hole, but I don't remember much other than the robot.
Okay.
I really don't remember much, except for the robots. I just remember I liked the junkie one. I thought he was
really
the best.
intense the last few months, so I've had to eject information from the 80s.
Hey, you should go to Firehouse Sub for lunch one day. You've had enough Chipotle.
Never enough Chipotle.
Just one day, go get Firehouse Sub, and then eat half of it, and you'll
Just
have
once.
leftover for home, and you'll
Just
be in your
once.
calories for the day. I'm just bringing this up randomly.
I get a message like every day, hey, Firehouse. Well, the problem is, so Andy talks to me about lunch about 10ish. I talked to John around 7:38, and we make lunch plans about 7:30. So then we're like, well, then that's locked in my brain. I'm like, I think about Chipotle for 3 hours.
You don't stop thinking about Chipotle.
That's also true. But if I'm not going to Chipotle at least twice a week, I'm sad. 3 times is the exact correct amount.
So the other
No,
2 times
And I'll
you
allow
get
4.
right. So then the other 2 days are the 2 halves of a Firehouse Sub.
Well, I usually have a couple lunch meetings at work, so I don't actually
Yeah.
go to the building every day.
Yeah.
So then it's like
It's all Chipotle up. Chipotle, meeting.
yeah.
That's a work week. I did what I could, Andy.
Yeah, I just want to go to Firehouse once.
Firehouse is good.
It is. The,
I haven't been to Firehouse in a long
New
time.
York Steamer is one of my favorite sandwiches on
Cleveland
the planet.
Steamer?
Nope. I don't like the Cleveland Steamer, but the New York Steamer I'm a fan of. It's delicious.
Imagine the one person
They
who's
have
like,
enough.
"We got another Cleveland steamer." It's like, "God damn it! I just ate. I just made one. I can't make another."
Well, you need the New York Steamer, and then
Oh.
you can.
Their meatball sub is amazing, and so is their one of their. I can't think what I think it's called, but they got some good food.
They got some good food.
They do. I don't disagree.
I did not try to ambush you with this. Nathan chose to do that on his own.
Fine. Yeah. You have asked about going to Firehouse about 17 times.
It has been.
To be fair, Firehouse is good.
Oh yeah, it's great.
You can get a pickle bucket.
and it has my
No,
food.
there's no pickles in it.
Okay.
Like you can just get a gallon bucket, or a 5-gallon jug. It's like a fucking paint bucket for like $2. They just have them by the door. You can just buy one of them. It's what their pickles come in from their supplier. It's handy. Use it as a
I
garbage
hate
can.
when you walk in and they have their welcome to house. Blah, blah,
Yeah, it's like
blah.
shut up. Don't
Yeah.
talk to me.
I don't. Yeah, your gimmick is not helping me stay here.
I mean, it has one of the requirements of restaurants in town. I would be more happy to go to Chipotle if they had those Coke machines.
Pretty much every place is having that now. Like,
I know
they're coming out.
Chipotle needs to have one, and then I'd be more than happy to go to Chipotle all the time.
I finally have gotten up the courage when I go through the drive-through at Wendy's to order a complicated mixer. Like,
Yeah.
even though I know they had the machine, I just didn't want to have to. And now I'm just like, fuck you. I'm going to give you all the adjectives, and you're going to do it.
3% cherry, 8% peach.
I don't go that bad, but I do
grape.
Diet Cherry Vanilla Dr. Pepper.
Their cherry cream soda, the Dave's cherry cream or whatever it is, there is really goddamn good. So
Non-Euclidean Nick accurately described Black Hole as being Disney's version of Event Horizon. I can go with that. But he then listed Black Hole, Time Bandits, Legend, and then Magic. I don't know Magic. I don't recognize
card
that
game.
one. No.
this is way before the card game.
He's
I don't
naming
remember
movies.
Magic.
I don't know Magic, but Legend. I mean, Legend will fuck you up. That one's weird.
The
as shit.
never-ending story
one's-
that fucked up some kids.
What's
too.
Legend?
Legend's the one with Tim Curry as Satan and
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is in it. Tim Curry is certain. There's the goblins. There's that fucking swamp hag.
It's got probably some of the best makeup
forget
you'll
Krull.
ever see.
Krull, I love Krull, but Krull, I would argue, isn't a kids movie. Like Legend is ostensibly for children to watch and then never sleep again. It's a fairy tale.
Who
Yeah.
is Edgar Bergen?
Is that the name of a movie?
No, Magic
Yeah.
is the one with Edgar Bergen. That's the clue we got.
So
look it up, but-
so I
That's the
Legend
clue.
Legend has probably got some of the best practical special effects.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, just basically for overall makeup. Like
Yeah.
Tim Curry is the devil in Legend. It's amazing to look at.
Yeah. No, I don't recognize any of these movies except for Event Horizon, which I have a passing
Well,
familiarity
these
of.
movies are made 30 years before you were born.
Not that young.
You were bragging about it earlier.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying I was 24.
Okay. So
You
Edgar
keep-
Bergen.
no one's going to believe you if you keep saying it.
Just trying to age myself up. Travis almost lost his mind when he found out that I was married at a Adepticon.
Well, I mean, we've met you. It's very hard to... I mean, only based on experience.
Again,
Personality-wise, I absolutely understand.
has anybody here seen your wife?
Okay.
Nate has.
I
Because I locked myself out of a running car once. He had to go get my
Of
car
course.
keys. The spare.
Just to get some random person to
Hey,
unlock you.
she lost a bet. He's married. It's okay.
Okay.
Oh,
like this
Edgar Bergen
magic
is a
thing-
dummy.
No,
Got
I'm
it.
on his IMDb thing, and I don't see anything called magic.
No,
It may be called something else.
No, it looks...
Wonton Tom, the dog who saved Hollywood. That was the last thing he made.
Now,
I'm probably a parody of Rin Tin Tin, so it's Wonton Tom.
so you know, like when
Instead
a
of-
little girl says, "I'm going to marry the neighbor next door," are you sure that's not how you guys are set up? Like, she's like, let's get married. And you're like, a little adorable, and the parents are, that's cute.
He said, what, you're talking about Jake was an arranged marriage?
Yeah, well, no, it's like kids get married, like little kids marry their neighbors, and they're just having fun, you know, like little...
Oh,
but it's like legal
playing
service.
house.
Yeah.
Like playing house.
They're playing
Okay.
house. Are you playing house or are you married? I guess that's what I'm curious about.
I had to sit through the worst meal of my life and the reception for that. So, yes, we are
They
actually
should
married.
give you... Don't
Yeah, you
wait
should have
until
waited
pick
till
the
you
food?
were
We weren't
here?
even allowed... No, we had to do it back there because we had to do it back in
No.
Michigan because that's how our families are at. I'm not going to ask people to drive to Wisconsin in the
And there was a
winter.
shotgun involved.
It's your wedding. They can fucking drive to you.
Yeah.
We didn't even want to have the wedding.
So don't.
They
Fuck 'em.
had to. It was
We just wanted to go to a courthouse, write a certificate, and go on with our lives.
That would have been amazing if Jake had his wedding here. You guys should renew your vows here.
Oh, apparently it's a dummy of Edgar Bergen, the kid's favorite.
Of course, it's not an actual character name. It's just it's like Mannequin.
Well, that's a classic movie from the 80s.
I haven't seen the original Mannequin, but I have seen Mannequin 2.
Of course, why would you not see the original? You just
'Cause-
jump right to the sequel. An obvious upgrade.
A Mannequin 2 is one of the worst movies
So you
I've
see,
ever
we
seen
can
in
have
my
Bernie's 2, but not 1.
life. I haven't seen either of them. What?
Oh, that's just...
How are you not... Wait, why are you surprised by this?
That needs to be resolved.
You know that I hadn't eaten beef jerky because you people talked about it on this podcast.
I almost brought beef jerky over here tonight.
I thought he was calling me a dummy and saying it was the movie with Edgar Bergen, but he meant it was the movie with Edgar Bergen's dummy.
Oh,
I thought he was just calling me a dummy, and it was just needlessly hostile. It's like, it's the one with Edgar Bergen, dummy. That's not how the punctuation works. But yeah, no, Ben Shows dummy kills people.
okay. From 78? So I did not see
Sure,
that
just some
film.
old horror movie.
Yeah. That was definitely not for kids then. That was probably an R-rated film.
Those are for kids moved back in then.
Oh,
PG
okay.
was pretty fucked up, and kids watch PG shit all the time.
Let me,
Yeah.
Let's
This
watch
is-
Poltergeist, Jimmy.
Oh,
No, this is not a question I should have to ask, but are you familiar with Tim Curry?
He likes curry sandwiches.
Yes.
That is fake shit. Oh my god.
I think he was the clown in It,
Sure.
and he was Dr. Frankenfurter in that one-time warp film.
Yes. Can you name a movie
That
where you
one
saw him
time
as a
warp
human
film.
being?
I would give you a hint or a...
I'm gonna delve deep and see if I can find one.
I mean, it's...
A synonym for a hint. It's a classic board game with people
Oh,
with color
was he
names.
the bad guy? Was he the butler in Clue?
He's the butler in Clue.
Okay, yes.
So, okay, perfect, because that's him not in makeup. That's what Tim Curry
Yes.
looks like.
Yes, doesn't move his face.
This is him as the devil in Legend.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
How did anyone survive the 80s? Between Reagan and apparently kids' media being horrifying, how did you people live?
Bon Jovi.
Hey, I got there eventually.
Oh, we forgot to mention to Jake, when you read stuff off the chat, if somebody does actually chat, if there's somebody actually there,
Yeah.
you actually read their comment
Oh, hold on.
first before you comment on it, because then it does for the audio podcast. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes,
if
that
you're
makes
just
sense.
randomly putting out answering questions.
So the thing about...
Travis, the point is, you told me it's Clue, you fuck. I got there. I eventually remembered that it was Clue.
You've seen Clue, right?
No. Oh, my God.
This is a childhood.
Normally
How
I'm
did
not
people
as
deal with this?
I'm normally not as upset when someone hasn't seen something, but Clue is such a critical existence.
Nate got me to watch The Thing about 3 months ago, and that was the first time I saw that, and apparently that was like a sin against humanity.
Which thing?
The thing about the Clue, the new one with
the original.
The Carpenter?
The Carpenter one, yeah.
That's not original,
Not
though.
So
Yeah, I know what you're talking
it
about.
is because so that's a sticky thing because the thing from another world
Yeah.
and with the book and the adaptation and the special effects limitations and blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Because the one thing about Clue, Clue had, when it came out of the theater, it had different parts of the country had different endings.
Yep.
Oh, really?
And like
There are
nowadays,
3 different endings randomly, secretly.
And nowadays it's really easy because now you watch a movie, you go online. Oh, this movie had 3 endings. Let me just watch all 3 endings. Well, back then you're like, you didn't fucking know that. You just saw the movie Clue and you thought that was the ending because you didn't just like call up randomly people across the country. Hey, was your ending the same with this random movie? Because of course it was the same because you didn't fucking change endings.
And since it was regional, talking to your friends, you wouldn't even get different stuff. You would have to talk to somebody from a different, county,
different
or
area of
if
the
somebody went to
country.
a different theater at the very least, and randomly talk about the fact that Miss Peacock did it when you saw it, and they'd be confused and think you were full of shit.
That's amazing. That's like a really cool way to do that.
Yeah.
And
Why
then
don't we do
when
that
it came out for rental the VHS, and of course they put all the endings back to back to
The
back.
DVD has a random mode where you can just watch it and it picks an ending at random.
Nice.
Nice.
Does anything on like the middle of the film change at all, or is it just
Nope.
the exact same last
The
10
end.
minutes or difference?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
last
cool.
10 minutes are different.
Yeah,
I
that's-
always wanted, if I was my dream, if I was somebody with skill, you think about, if I was a singer, I'd do this, and if I was a painter, I'd do this. If I was a filmmaker, I'd do like a Saving Private Ryan style serious movie, or maybe like a heist style movie.
Sure.
But have different endings. Like Reservoir Dogs, where not all the same people live and die, or even different ones.
That'd actually be
Like
really cool.
different people are the cop, and again, just shuffle it, don't tell anybody, send it out there, and watch
My dream goal for a movie would to make like a romantic comedy, and then like halfway into it, it just turns into District 10.
Sure, yeah.
And but you couldn't
They're
have
back.
any marketing. You couldn't do
Wait,
anything. It would just,
District 9?
No, 10.
10 because
The sequel, but disguise the first 45 minutes.
Literally,
Like you go.
because like From Dusk Till Dawn switched from like an action thing to a vampire thing, but
Yeah.
you knew that watching the commercial. I'm talking about just literally, it's like Ben Affleck and Jennifer Aniston get together again in this movie, and then suddenly they just get murdered, and then District 10 and the aliens come down. And you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Turns
is
out you were
happening?
watching District 10 the whole time, but the aliens arrive
Yeah, but
halfway
you gotta
through
go-
and
but
kill
you
your
have to-
leads.
Those
you get
movies
like
are
30 full minutes of the rom-com though, so you just think it's
Yeah.
all.
so it's kind of similar to like Cloverfield Lane in a sense.
Yeah.
When they
Well, at least Cloverfield Lane, because
you would
there's a
have to-
possibility that this is
You
not
have
even
to
a hint.
have like a half hour of Sweet Home Alabama. Like you're watching Sweet Home Alabama, and then one of the times she's driving down the highway in a montage or whatever, she gets sideswiped and kidnapped and thrown in the cellar in Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
And it's just that's the start of the movie. Is 45 minutes of Sweet Home Alabama first.
you
Because I
watch
don't
a
think
story
Clo-
about a character coming back to his hometown and reuniting with some folks, and then as he's driving away, there's a giant nuclear explosion.
Sure.
Could be something like that.
Yeah, and then make a TV series out of that.
Yeah. See, I don't think the Cloverfield's that way. Only because like when you watch it, he's whether it's real or not is a question, but that the possibility exists from the beginning. of the film.
Her being stuck in there with him is from from 5 minutes.
Correct.
Like whether he's insane or telling the truth, that you don't know. But there's 10 minutes before it happens.
Correct.
And even from the very start, you hear news things about weird shits going on and everything, and then she gets, it's fast.
Like if that turned into a rom-com, that would be the shocker.
Yes. No, you want Audition. Yeah. But you want Audition, and it also is a sequel to Cloverfield. But you want it to do what Audition did.
We were just talking about this the other day.
Audition's a
group of
great
us.
date movie. It's about this. It's cute. It's fun.
It's not as
This
bad as-
guy, he's a theater producer, and he's casting girls, to be the lead in, I think it's ballet or something, right? And he just, he's older, he's a divorcee, and she's young, so it's kind of like that, Lolita-esque kind of thing. I mean, she's not underage, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But it's the May-December thing, and then, it's romantic, and he falls for her, and they go on a date, and it's great.
I feel like there's a turn somewhere. in what
Ah,
you're
it's
talking
fine.
about.
No, it's good. It's all right.
Yeah, just watch it blind. No information. You miss things like that. I've only seen 2 movies blind, and they were both great. At a theater, I walked into and it's hard now because of assigned scenes, but I walked into the theater, turned, and saw a poster for Suicide Kings. Go, well, that poster looks intriguing. It's Christian, my brain just went completely brain dead there.
Christopher
Walken. And I'm like, well, I'm going to walk into this movie and see it. And then when I saw Memento Blind.
Oh, yeah.
Those are two movies I saw blind with no information. And I was like, wonderful, amazing choices.
Yeah, I saw Memento Blind too because we were like, oh, we just heard about this movie and we all went to a friend's house.
Yeah.
Well, now you just can't because even Audition, like the cover of Audition ruins Audition.
Yeah.
Like it should be the guy and the girl like on a date holding a rose or something, or it should even just be the guy. It shouldn't be what the cover for Audition
Correct.
is.
Yeah. Correct.
Marketing ruins so many things.
The fucking Planet of the Apes. The DVD cover for the Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes is him on the beach with the fucking Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I hate when like the movie with the girl from Dexter, the sister from Dexter. Literally the cover of the poster is the final scene of the goddamn
Quarantine?
movie. Quarantine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't fucking put the final image.
Yeah.
Well, that's the movie you saw. The movie that was ruined for a bit you enjoyed was with Liam Neeson versus
The
Wolves.
Gray. I saw that. I thought that was a spy thriller.
Yeah.
Because I mixed it up with Safe House.
Yeah.
I think is the one with not Morgan Freeman.
And
With Denzel
With
Washington.
Denzel, and so that's like a spy movie.
Yeah.
And in my brain, like for some reason, I had only heard like a commercial for that one. I heard nothing about the Gray, and then I just mixed them up. So I'm like, let's go see the spy thriller. And he gets on a plane. I'm like, he's gonna go do spy stuff, and he never does spy stuff.
And then you're like, because when you watch that fucking commercial, you see him and the wolf.
Yeah.
Face off and they charge each other. You're like, man, that's going to be just some ridiculously punching an animal. But that's literally how it just cuts to black.
That's the last shot of the movie.
And you're just like, what the fuck just happened? If that wasn't in the, I mean, it actually makes a lot of sense for the ending, and it's actually a very smart ending.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have fucking put that in the trailer.
That should not be in the trailer.
Prometheus
Because you really expect 10 more minutes of fighting.
Prometheus is the worst about everything.
It is the worst about everything.
For
That
all
was
the
a
reasons.
film I was super excited about.
Everyone was.
And then I got so disappointed as I sat in the theater. Like, I could just feel... I loved Alien. That was one of the first science fiction movies I watched.
By the way, Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
He directed Legend.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, that's a Ridley Scott film.
Well, no one will act like a human being.
When
but it would be
Ridley Scott
gorgeous.
makes a children's movie, that's what you get.
Yeah.
I have to watch Legend again. I have not seen Legend probably in a good.
It was on
20
HBO a
some
lot
years.
recently. I'm watching, and I'm like, this is just too weird for me to handle.
It's weird as shit.
Yeah, he was like, I got to turn the channel. I can't handle whatever's happening here.
So we're
I
talking.
think he's raping that unicorn right now. I don't know. I'm out.
Prometheus so fucking weird. And the thing is, now they've got that new one. I saw the trailer for Prometheus 2 Alien Boogaloo.
It's Alien Covenant.
Yeah, and I'm like, fool me won't get food again.
Yeah.
Because like they showed a shitload of xenomorphs in the trailer for Alien Covenant.
Yes, they
because
did.
they want to apologize, I think, for having zero
I
of
think,
them in Prometheus.
I think that's his. I think this is his. Prometheus sucked, and here's what we should have did. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Except for I think it's probably going to suck too.
It will suck. It'll be terrible. But at least it might be a good scary movie where people get eaten by an alien.
If we don't see all the fucking jump scares in the goddamn trailer.
We saw every character die in the trailers.
It's stupid.
Like
there's they even show the shower scene, and then the tail comes down. I was like, oh,
they
they're
show
giving
at
away
least
everything.
6 character deaths in the trailer. And so if there are fewer than 10 people, I have seen the majority of the characters die.
Well, that's when you
expect
see
that.
with horror movies. Never watch the Red Band trailer because you're going to see that.
Because the only reason it's Red Band is because they're showing the gore.
The
which means
only
they're showing
time I
the
watch
death.
Red Band trailers now is if like, man, I don't think I want to watch this movie, so I'm going to give the Red Band a shot because I'm already 90% out. Maybe there's something in this that just compels me. But if I'm at all interested, I don't mind trailers as much. I'm just giving up, and I understand I'm going to get spoiled by too much in trailers. But Red Bands are so atrociously bad for spoiling things.
The last Red Band that I watched that. Because I wasn't sure about the movie, was Tucker versus Dale. I think that was
Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
yes. I think that was the last Red Band I watched, and the one that actually made me watch a movie after I saw the Red Band was Rambo.
We got your friend, college kids.
No, Rambo.
Are they still working on a sequel for that shit?
Tucker and Dale? I think there's a 2 coming.
They keep talking about that. It's been like way too long.
But so we were talking about movies that start off as something and end differently. I think probably one of my favorites of that type is True Romance.
Sure.
Because that movie does start off as like a romantic comedy.
It
It just starts off with, just
Because Someone in the chat mentioned Gone Girl. That's almost accurate. That's kind of down that same thing. It definitely does shift gears. You're like, oh, it's cool. Well, it's a pretty cool way.
You guys are a big fan of the shift in the middle of No Country for Old Men.
No pounding on the table.
Yes, please.
But
Yeah, he needed that one.
You mean in the last 10 minutes?
Yeah.
What is
The Mass Effect effect.
what is True Romance?
True Romance?
Yeah.
A beautiful date. Oh,
It is a good
so
movie.
It's a date movie.
It's
I'm trying-
Tarantino wrote it before Reservoir Dogs.
It is probably Brad Pitt's finest role.
You think so?
Val Kilmer's best role.
best role.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer and Brad Pitt.
Val Kilmer's
God.
best
Just
role
go for-
will always be The Island of
Look
Dr.
at
Moreau.
look at the IMDb for True
That
Romance.
movie's
No,
amazing.
don't, because it'll give away the
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
So we'll just talk about the actors that are in there. So we have Christopher Walken,
Yep.
Dennis Hopper,
Wow.
Val Kilmer, Brad
Val
Pitt.
Kilmer, Brad Pitt,
Okay.
Patricia Arquette,
Yeah.
Yeah.
early Patricia Arquette,
Tony Soprano. What's his name?
James Gandolfini.
James
Great
Gandolfini,
role for him too.
Yes.
Bronson
This is gonna be a-
Pinchot, which you don't know who that is.
From, the guy from Perfect Strangers.
Balky.
Which that it's before
You
you,
guys
were
should-
born
you guys should
also.
say Christian Slater,
'Cause You're a
right?
child.
Christian
Christian
Slater,
Slater.
Samuel L. Jackson.
This is gonna be
Samuel L. Jackson.
This is going to be a weird sentence, but I'm going to stand by it.
Gary,
it has
Gary Busey.
probably
No,
one of the
no,
best
Gary Coleman.
scenes.
or what?
I was going to say this is a weird sentence, but I'll stand by it. It has one of my favorite scenes of a woman being savagely brutalized.
Yes, that is. It is a well. That and
That
my
scene is
my-
powerful.
It might be. Also, I think
Gary Oldman's-
Gary Oldman's character is amazing.
he's
Oh, yeah.
probably. In fact, for you to find Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, and Brad Pitt in the film would be Brad Pitt's the easiest one to find in there, but the other two are well.
Well, Gary Oldman's always hard to find.
Yeah.
He's ridiculously hard to find
you're
in
like,
that
is that,
film.
yeah. I mean, Chris Penn and Tom Sizemore, but
Sure.
they're
Yeah.
standard.
Tom Sizemore? Fucking A.
It's-
He's the sergeant from Saving Private Ryan, the one that's shot in the ass.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The cast is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the movie is great. It's very fast paced. It's fun.
I don't think anything can ever take best cast away from Glengarry Glen Ross, but that's a damn good cast right there.
So
Thin Red Line might get close.
No.
no,
From percentage,
There's a ton of maybe not.
There's a ton of
percentage,
names.
but there's a ton of
I
names
just
and
beat you to death.
You really a Thin Red Line is not an especially enjoyable movie to watch.
right.
no.
But there's a ton of really good actors. in it.
Yeah, so you are correct in the statement. The cast, it is a ridiculous cast.
So
Yeah.
at
No
that
one's got 5 hours.
around that time, like a lot of big name actors really didn't play in the same movie.
Yeah.
So there was one movie, Heat, that where you had Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and big names at the time.
Yeah.
And they actually had like a small little diner scene. And they had a little conversation back and forth. A lot of people said that was like one of the greatest moments in film history.
Yeah.
I don't think that. The scene that's Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper in True Romance destroys that scene.
That's a good scene.
Like no one's business.
You are
It
an
is-
eggplant.
It is. It is such a great scene.
I'm going to put this out here just because I brought it up and I want to show. Have you seen Glengarry Glen Ross?
Yes,
Okay, fine, good.
I've never have.
So
I've seen both the stage play and
there are 5 characters in it that are such things as man in donut shop and coat check girl. Not counting those, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 8 people whose characters actually have names, like actual characters in the whole movie. It's a very small cast, and those people are played by Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon, Alec Baldwin, Alan Arkin, Ed Harris, Kevin Spacey, Jonathan Pryce.
wow.
Like
What is Alec Baldwin's character name?
the
Awesome.
guy at the beginning who gives the greatest speech in every movie
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, yeah. I was
His
hoping-
name is Blake.
Oh,
I don't
I
ever
w-
remember him being called anything in the movie.
I was just really hoping that his name was actually "fuck you" in the
Holy
cast list.
shit. Right?
I watched a movie within the last 5 years. I think I think me and Jim just sat down and watched it randomly, and we're just like, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I've never
speech
seen
is just worth watching every once in a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really was hoping his cast.
What
name
is
was
it? What is it
"fuck
even
you."
about? Give me a quick synopsis of the.
Real estate salesman.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And depression. It's just-
Okay.
And his speech at the beginning, it's just like a 5-minute scene, and it's fucking baller. Like,
Yeah.
you should watch that. I'll show that to you. It's on the YouTube, and you'll go, wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
It's
Always
about as
close.
good as Roman Reigns 15 minutes into Raw.
Yes.
Yeah. It is.
Put the coffee down. You know who I am? Fuck you. That's who I am.
Yes. Oh god, that whole scene.
So I've heard it's okay. So then I've heard that speech parody.
You've heard bits of that speech. Yeah, I mean it's a very well-known speech, so it is a parody speech.
You've heard that entire speech parodied on every movie.
Slash quoted.
Yeah.
It's like when I saw Casablanca for the first time within the last 10 years, I'm like, my God, I just realized every movie I ever saw ripped that off.
Yes.
I
What's
was
funny is, like, movies like Casablanca, when you watch them, you're like, man, this movie's really cliche. And you have to, like, stop and go, oh, wait, no. Every other movie ripped off Casablanca.
Yeah, literally everything ever has ripped that movie off.
Some of those classics still have things that, like Claude Rains in Casablanca is a hidden treasure.
Yeah.
Because, like, the movies that rip off like the Humphrey Bogart and everything, and they don't go with fucking. I'm shocked that there's gambling in this establishment.
Yeah, your love of Kevin Spacey got me to really like the. It's the one where he gets kidnapped.
Oh yeah, with Dennis.
Quaid?
Well, he gets
No,
kidnapped.
that's not the ref. Not the ref.
Because the ref who gets kidnapped is great.
He does
Swimming
get
with
kidnapped.
sharks.
The ref is great.
Swimming with sharks.
Swimming with Sharks is almost because he gets the ref and Swimming with Sharks are too great capturing Kevin Spacey, and that's why they capture him in the movie recently with the what's their names.
He's captured a lot. He's captured in 7.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, he,
Spoilers.
as far as like captured by his like people, because I mean, Swimming with Sharks, because he's captured and he just completely dominates the situation with Swimming with Sharks.
Right.
Like, he's a captured
Well, it's
guy,
like
but-
Suicide King style.
Yeah, Suicide Kings. But at least in the ref, he is more the victim. But that movie's so hilarious. But then it's like there's two of them. There's got like the one guy in it, and the black guy, and the white guy, and the
Sure.
other guy, and the bosses or something, whatever it's called.
Horrible Bosses.
Horrible bosses. Like that's why they picked him to be captured because I mean he just
Yeah.
it was like reprising his
Sure.
role.
Yeah. He crushed being captured in Usual Suspects.
I didn't really know Kevin Spacey honestly until 7, and then I'm like I worship this man for the rest of his life.
But he's great.
I mean I recognized him before that, but never really. That was like what made me. Like,
He's one of those,
watch all
like,
of his
you
movies.
knew that you'd seen him in a lot of places,
Yeah.
and it didn't. It's like, and it's not a actor, but one time I was driving home from, it was like Adepticon or something.
Yeah.
I was driving home, and just on different radio stations as I went through different areas, so it must have been further, like War Machine Weekend or something, a longer run. And as radio stations would change, I'd change the station, and on the way home, I heard like 5 different songs by the Cars. And I was like, this song's one of my favorites, and then this song's one of my favorites. And it never sunk in that I fucking love the Cars.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So halfway home, I pulled off, went into a Walmart, and bought the Cars' greatest hits because I'm like, why don't I own this shit?
Exactly. The Cars are the great.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they are really good.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jake.
Sorry.
And Rick Osaic for leaving the Cars.
I
Yeah.
don't know what the cars are.
Yes, you do. That's my point. It's you would have that same thing. Even you have heard Cars songs.
Even the Shays.
Yes, even Jeremy.
Jeremy doesn't like the Beatles. I don't understand how
Jeremy
that's
doesn't like
possible.
music. God. Like, he honestly just doesn't understand the concept of music. Non-including Nick, I think, talking about good speeches, mentioned he likes to watch the first 5 minutes of Newsroom. I assume that's that big speech about America's not the greatest country.
It's interesting.
About how my generation is full of garbage human
And that's the
beings.
thing. I would love that scene if it wasn't for the throwaway line where he says worst period, generation period, ever period.
Yeah.
In the middle of that whole fucking thing, he randomly knocks on millennials who are the ones getting shit on by everything he's talking against, and it just fucking ruins that speech for me.
Well, I think every generation gets shit on by the previous generation. It's not really like it's not
And
new
that's
to the
true,
millennials.
but-
Generation X got shit on by the baby boomers, and Generation Y
Baby
got
boomers
shit on
haven't
by.
stopped shitting, though.
No, I mean their shit's gonna kill us all.
Right, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Is like, and because of all of that, I'm just especially bitter whenever the worst generation ever is the baby boomers.
Yeah.
And anytime that people point the finger at any other generation before or since, I'm just sick of it.
Yeah, they are probably the worst. It's just interesting because
They annihilated the housing market just in time for me
millennials
to
and
go
the
to the
first
job
generation
market.
are slightly different only because the technology always changes, but the technology of like the social they're the first ones to really be just level up from social media. So I think there's a slightly different perspective from them.
I'm just sick of, hey, we destroyed the housing market.
Yeah.
We dectupled the cost of college education. We annihilated every job field possible. Why are you lazy pieces of shit living with your parents?
Well, it's because
also we murdered the planet while we were at it.
It's because
like,
it's
fuck you.
because their fucking kids are just fine because they're fucking rich. It's like
right. Anyway,
yeah, that show that
was dangerous.
There are some good shows with some good rants. It is always fun to watch a good rant speech from a thing.
That was getting dangerously close to going political.
Yeah.
Oh, baby! If you're a baby boomer and you're listening to this, kill yourself.
I mean,
But give me a job first, would you?
Well, kill yourself so there will be jobs, you fuckers. Retire. Let some younger people be Walmart greeters. We need the jobs.
yeah.
Also, stop using up the Social Security that I'm paying for, asshole.
I forget what they said. What percentage we're putting in Social Security we're going to actually expect? Every
0?
Well, no, but I mean, even by 2030, there's the percentage keeps dropping. What you're actually going to get. It's
My
pretty
retirement age is approximated at 98.
fast. Yeah.
Like,
So you're so
Good news, we'll all be dead by then.
I know.
So what?
I'm excited.
So 85 years you're going to retire?
Wait, yeah, that's a good point. How could he talk about high school banning something when he isn't even old enough to be in high school yet?
It is interesting.
Are you talking about in your Monster High cartoons?
I really don't know.
Do you
about
watch a lot of High School of the Dead? Is that like your?
Also, don't know what that is.
High School of the Dead? Come on. Ask
that was a throwback
talk
to
to
like-
Keith about Keith.
Just talk to Keith. We have the same idea. High five! Seriously, ask Keith.
Ask Keith what his
okay.
name's. He would be similar to Marshall's version of Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you do talk to Keith, make sure you just have some type of audio thing recording. Just take your
Yeah.
phone and record the audio.
I'll just put on the record function, place it on the table, and be like, so Keith, tell me about High School of the Dead.
Just say, let's watch.
No,
it.
no,
Let's
don't
watch
even make sure it's where Keith doesn't know it's being recorded, because it would make a great rant.
Just start go over to his house and start watching it on his TV. And so he walks into the room, and you're just watching that at his house.
I mean, that's the right way to search for that GIF, right? Like, I can't
Yeah.
think of, okay.
Yeah, me and Marshall are actually watching back through Ghost in the Shell standalone complex right now to help him process his Ghost in the Shell anger.
The best Google image results ever.
Is this all High School of the Dead related?
This is the quintessential High School of the Dead moment. No,
have-
I'm getting an animated GIF for you.
I have
thank
never
you.
actually seen...
I can watch rated R movies, thank you.
I've never actually seen the actual animation. That's why the movie didn't bother me, because I had no concept to relate to.
Yeah, I think I would
The
like
day
to.
saved by a sniper who's introduced 30 seconds before he saves the day. That's a little weird. Like, hey, here's a new character. Hey, new character, save the day.
No, it's part of the team.
Yeah, but they never mentioned him before that.
No, he was part of the team early on.
Oh, then Marshall must have just missed his
Yeah, no,
intro, because he's been bitching and moaning that guy isn't introduced until then.
He's part of the team. He's the guy who doesn't really have enhancements.
Have you seen it yet, Nathan?
No.
We should watch it. Let's go on a Tuesday.
I mean,
So it's
I
$5.
paid $4.5 for the ticket. I thought it was worth it. But I'm sure if I had any context to the material, I would have not liked it.
Yeah, whenever I watch adaptations, I try and divorce everything from the
Yeah.
adaptation, just to like get maybe it's still okay. But from everything Marshall's told me about it, it seems like they decided to do what they did in the Daredevil film from about a decade ago, where instead of making a coherent plot, they're like, let's grab all these great set pieces from this material we have the IP for and put them on screen and maybe write a couple of scenes to connect them and then half-ass that even.
I agree with what you just said.
This is just phenomenal podcasting.
We are the best podcast about random nonsense there is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have 8 viewers.
Oh, we got up to 8?
I meant it.
Yeah, no, Darth Lethar is right. So here we go. So that guy's shooting his rifle. He's using boobs as a support. That's why they're jiggling from the recoil. The one girl's boobs he uses as support for his sniper rifle. This girl's backflipping, so her boobs have to dodge the bullet so it can go in between her boobs. Then the bullet, so she finishes her backflip and then samurai swords some zombies as they get shot in the head by the sniper bullet. Like, that's everything you want in a film.
Oh my god, this is...
Isn't that the greatest, 10 seconds you've ever seen in your life? Like...
He just saw boobies. He's very excited.
This is insane!
Yeah.
Why
and
would they
it's
do this?
Because it's insane! And it's a 10-episode series that's nothing but this shit. It's amazing. Name anything not amazing that's happening in front of you right now.
She's gonna have some serious back problems.
True. Also, somebody did the math. Those things are going like Mach 10, scissoring back and forth. Because of the speed of the bullet, her tits are just like a helicopter's propellers. So the bullet can go in between them.
It's science.
Yeah, that is science. That's how
That's how boob science works.
yeah, that's how boob science works.
Anyway.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I'll just leave that there so you can occasionally see it.
You're wanting to see if we had some questions.
I think we had some Zappities and Grumbles.
And you had like 8 recommendations too.
Well, I mean, yeah. So many. I think I've come and done so many things.
Review's done.
Review was good.
I haven't seen the last episode yet, so I need to.
I just finished watching review.
Because you didn't know it was 3 episodes. So
I didn't know it was 3 episodes. I watched all 3.
You haven't watched 5?
I haven't finished it yet. So I need to find a way to finish it because
I can load it up. Because my television, the Comedy Central app will recognize my TV provider.
That's good. So whatever. I'll see it in the next couple days, one way or another.
Yeah, because it'll eventually be made free on the site.
Yeah.
Is a loaf of bread?
Yeah, is a loaf of bread a bread sandwich?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Is an open-faced sandwich a sandwich?
It's right there in the name.
Well, so is jellyfish. Jellyfishes aren't fish.
There's no such thing as a fish.
Okay.
Touche.
I can show you 1,000-page documents about the fact that there's no such thing as a fish. Like, a carp is closer evolutionarily to a horse than it is to a tuna. Like, the concept of a fish, genetically speaking, is absurd. There is no category fish. We just go, they live water, gills, fish. And there's no zoological justification for it.
Okay.
Science.
Well, I guess open-faced sandwich is a sandwich then.
Yeah.
Based on the fish logic, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, naturally.
Well, also, yeah, because it's right there. But I don't say a loaf of bread is a bread sandwich. That's dumb.
Depends on if it's cut in half. Like, if it's cut in half and, like, placed back on top, I'd say it's a bread sandwich.
I've watched a podcast that had this. What they did is they took 2 pieces of bread, toasted it, and then put one single slice of bread in between the 2.
So is that a toasted bread sandwich?
It was a toasted bread sandwich.
See,
and actually, the folks that ate it on the podcast were like, this is actually not bad.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I would say, like, the loaf as is a loaf. Like, the sandwich comes from using the bread as a carrier for something else. And so the loaf as is not a bread sandwich, it's just a loaf.
I've had bread with just butter before.
Yeah. That's just bread and butter.
Yeah.
But I guess if you put 2 pieces of buttered bread back together, that would be a butter sandwich.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fresh bread and good butter.
Oh, fuck yeah. And honey butter? I need to go home and just make some honey butter. That's what I'll do. Yeah,
It's absolute insanity.
It is.
This is like the most, this is like the face-off of anime gifs.
Dude, this show is amazing because the whole thing is this stupid.
Yeah.
And it's glorious.
Okay. As long as they know they're that dumb.
Yes, and that's why it's great. You think they straight-facedly drew this shit?
Yes. No, Nate, I don't think that.
And that's the point. Keith does, which is why he hates it. Keith's like, that's dumb. I'm like, yeah, good.
And that's Zappity Grumble questions for the day.
Well, that's whether a loaf of bread is a bread sandwich, and the answer is no. Shut up.
Oh wow! Hey, I found that you can actually see responses to tweets now.
Yeah, you always could.
I could not.
You click on the thing, and
I had troubles with it.
But then responses to other responses are then in their own separate chain. It's terrible.
So what's another question?
There's a lot of Rodimus Prime stuff from Paul Johns, the guy who sent this. He really... He wants
oh, that was him? Oh,
okay. Yeah, Paul, he's the one who sent this.
Yeah. He's like a better Optimus Prime, right?
Did he not come? Yeah, because he didn't die like a bitch.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime's like, dude, I got killed.
Yeah. So, quick question here. How do you feel about players' ability to measure and proxy model movements? Has it slowed down the game to where it isn't fun for the opponent?
Well, who has that?
In casual play, can't
Don Jamaris.
I will say that I have heard, I don't get casual play doesn't. If you don't time casual games, I've heard a couple complaints from a couple people.
Yeah, you need a clock, and in that case, like it's clean. Like some people say they don't like, and it might even be you. The last round, where like there's a 20-minute round where people get super specific and put down 14 proxies.
Well, because you know enough about the game, and you're like, okay, I'm going to win or lose in this turn, and I have 45 minutes on my clock, so I'm going to put down 20 plus proxies. I'm going to basically have them all. I have 3 units in 3 jacks, so before they've touched a model, there are literally 30 proxy bases, 6 large, all these smalls. They've measured. There's like 16 measuring sticks. I love the concept of pre-measuring. I love proxy bases for charges, but I just do not enjoy the here are 30 proxy bases, here's my shenanigans. I'm like, at some point you're taking skill out of the game and you're just being like, people should have to plan around and maneuver a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, every time I've had someone do that to me, usually look for one of their first 3 dice rolls to make sure everything goes right, goes sideways on them. And I think a lot of the skill of the game is being like, once your perfect plan stops working the way it needs to, coming up with a backup.
But I mean, if you can put down 30 proxy bases, you don't even have to worry about your plan to be perfect because you've just literally put all your proxies. Now you know you can get around this. You've measured.
Yeah,
this,
but that's only the movement. That doesn't help with needing to land a debuff or needing to,
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to, but I mean,
Because the plan never goes perfectly.
I mean, the point is the movement of the models is a known variable. Like there's no mystery to the speeds and the positioning, and so I don't mind the proxy placement because that's just a provable thing. Skill comes from knowing where those people need to go in the first place, right?
Yeah.
No number of a sack full of proxy bases doesn't help a bad player know where to put them.
Well, depending on abilities, I mean, there are certain things you can do ability-wise and whatnot that you can. I think that's somewhat true, but not completely, because there are enough abilities that affect things around them, and just if you can I just think that the movement is a skill level of the game, and I think when someone's throwing down 38 proxy bases, just takes away some of the skill. It makes the game less interesting to me. Is really what it does. I mean, maybe it just takes away a level of built-in skill that's required when you can do that much. I mean, measuring ranges and putting bases down to guarantee a charge and go, look, it's a charge, and now we know it's moving miles and having to argue about that. That I love because that just takes away did you charge, because here's a proxy base, here's a charge lane.
But I'm confused because to me the skill in the game lies in knowing where to put those proxy bases. Like, the proxy bases just tell you where things have gone to, but knowing tactically where the right places to put them are is
range
the
assassination is where I see it the most. It's like, okay, I'm going to try to kill you with assassination, and I don't want to block my line of sight, so I'm going to place where this unit's going to go, and this unit's going to go, and this unit's going to go, and this unit's going to go. Now I can move these 6 jacks, and now because I've spent 20 minutes, I 100%ed the chance of every model shooting you.
Okay.
Yes, I have to roll dice to hit you.
Yeah.
But I now guaranteed 100% of my shots will hit. I don't have to measure and go, oops, that guy didn't quite move right. That guy blocked that guy. That's completely eliminated.
Even with that, I've had players trying to do a ranged assassination on me screw that up.
Well, that's just being dumb then.
Incompetent players are going to screw up anything. I've seen people be handed victory and just shit on it because they're fucking dumb. Yeah. And there is the occasional, I can't roll. I just gave myself 100 shots, and I rolled snake eyes 100 times. I mean, that's going to happen. Yeah. But I've just seen enough times where, honestly, the people who are putting down the effort of the 100 bases are the better players. It's not the yippity players. It's the people who actually fucking know what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
And now they've maximized every single shot.
I guess I've only seen more than 3 or 4 proxy bases, like, maybe twice. I just don't see that.
I've seen it as much either.
I've done it a couple times with Haley 3. I'll have about 400 different proxy bases and rings out for clouds.
I've only ever seen, like, the trench or cloud ones. I haven't seen the whole fucking army.
Even though I haven't played in the last couple months, when I did play the first 6-7 months of Mark III, against me, I've seen it happen a good dozen times.
Well, I think
at least 15 plus bases on the table.
People were so excited about the concept of doing that I think they did it a lot at first. I think it's kind of died down.
Yeah, because
at least I haven't seen it as often.
I see for more crucial things now. Like, when you're trying to angle something specific to this point, you're seeing if you can actually get into that point.
But it's usually just 1 or 2 things then. It's not like plan literally your whole turn with proxy bases and then actually play your whole turn a second time. Yeah. You don't see that as much.
In a Death Clock tournament, that's also killer for you.
If you got a half hour and you're going on your assassination run and it's either win or lose, you can use 29 minutes and 59 seconds doing that. Like,
it's not the end. I don't think it's the end of the world. It's a thing that if I had whenever you look at a game, and this is a kind of a random topic, even day one of a game, there's things you love. When you're the happiest about a game, there's like things you're happy about, and a couple things you go, well, that's kind of weird, and like that just fits into me. And like that's just in a negative pile by itself. It doesn't do much. It's like that to me isn't a killer of the game, but it's just one negative amongst many. But it's just one thing that bothers me.
Yeah,
it
does slow the game way down.
I just find it less interesting. I just find, and when someone's doing that, the game, it just bores me.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But I'm also but I personally feel that I'm good at doing that without having to pre-measure. Like I can get those 100 shots without having to proxy them.
Yeah.
So it's.
I mean, with me, I used the Haley 3. I proxied all the trenchers. I proxied the clouds. I proxied both the jacks I had on the list, and I proxied where the Haleys went.
Yeah.
And that was when I first started playing it. Now I put the clouds out in front of my army, like, this is where my clouds are going to be. That is it. And I honestly do think a big reason why I put out 1 billion of those proxy bases was entirely because I can put out proxy bases now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, but there are a lot, I think, positives about pre-measuring. It's great.
yeah.
Zappity.
Yeah.
Crumble. So, have you read the news that McDonald's is considering bringing back Szechuan McNugget sauce after Rick and Morty season 3, episode 1?
Disney severed all promotional ties with McDonald's in 2008, I believe. So all the people saying, "Oh, they'll do it for the live-action Mulan next year," no, they won't, because Disney doesn't want to be tied to childhood obesity. It's bad for their brand, so they severed all McDonald's ties. So if McDonald's brings back Szechuan sauce, they're just going to be doing it of their own random volition. I did see a video where a guy made 3 different versions of Szechuan sauce and compared them, and it was like true, like from scratch roast, roasting the peppers and everything, Szechuan sauce. And then there was one that it was a recreation that some Redditor had sent in, and then the third one was literally just 2 parts sweet and sour, 1 part barbecue from McDonald's. And he said, "I'm guessing this is what they actually did."
I don't really remember it at all. I usually don't get sauce with my nuggets anyway. So
I don't like teriyaki, so
What? The best sauce?
yeah.
I don't know.
I like General Tso's or sesame chicken way more than teriyaki.
Sesame chickens.
Sesame chicken,
That's
yeah.
good. That's a good flavor.
Yeah, but then the other couple questions we're asking about pre-measuring during games, and that's in proxy
That's
bases.
an odd that most people ask the question.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably talking to each other. Like, it's a conversation that's
Yeah.
split off from that question.
One of the Facebook questions, someone asked if any of us are playing the new Mass Effect game.
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
No, I was just getting ahead of you.
Look at that. See?
I haven't played any Mass Effect
Are you
game.
playing the new Mass Effect?
No,
No.
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 I have been enjoying the mediocre reviews for it, though.
I've heard it's bad.
I've heard multiple things. I mean, I've heard good, I've heard bad. I mean,
I've heard mediocre is pretty commonly.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I've
not, like,
pretty
the
much
worst or
just
the
top
best.
dead center in terms of its average.
I talked to John Acker, but so me and John Acker obviously work a lot, and we'll talk. Like, the thing about that game is there are so many games like Witcher and like where they're third-person adventure games where you're running around in fantasy. There's so few sci-fi games. Like Mass Effect is really it right now. Like if you
Yeah.
want to play, if you love that style, you don't have another sci-fi option in the Mass Effect, which
Halo.
is frustrating. No, it's a shooter.
I know.
But I mean, it's like, to me, like I obviously my hatred of Mass Effect 3 is fairly well known. But like, if I hear how
nobody's getting you Mass Effect 3 stuff.
yeah, that's true. No one's. But I mean, if the new
Just
Mass
said
Effect,
it's Kurgan action figures.
but if the new Mass Effect game, if it's bad from the beginning, but the action is fun, like I would be tempted to play something like that where I know I can't get invested into it because the story is so bland. But if it's good action, that kind of feeds that whole thing.
You're just Zap Branniganing it over here. Like, Jake's doing this, like, up on one hip,
Well, I
chest
felt
out.
very short. So I'm like, I'm going to sit a little bit higher. No, I'm just going to crouch down.
Podcasting of the future.
God, I love Futurama.
Anyway, Zappity.
Zappity Grumble. Who's playing for Honor now that it seems to be working?
Nope.
Nope.
He looked neat. Alex Schaefer's played it. He likes it. He won a 3-on-1 fight, and he messaged every single person in his Facebook feed because he was so. I mean, 3-on-1 in any kind of game is pretty good, but he's like, I just did this, and he basically cut and pasted everybody.
Your mom's calling you.
Oh, hello. You call me? All right, I'm podcasting now, so I gotta go. Bye.
Brian's mom butt dialed him.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Brian talking to his mom theater.
I've seen a lot of Let's Plays of For Honor. It looks interesting. It would be great if we would all get into it at the same time, but the way our schedules go, that would never work.
That's the game where some of the combat they actually use, like someone talked about. Dan brought up the whole medieval fighting, how they use swords and things differently. That game actually uses a lot of that actual real medieval style.
Hold it
fighting.
by the blade and beat you with the handle.
Yeah.
The half hold where you grab it in the middle so you can get more force behind the stab.
Which is kind of a neat that you're seeing that in games. The game looks neat, but I'm not interested in mostly just a PvP game. Or
Yeah.
It
That was
was
like
like-
oh, sorry.
I was gonna say it would be really cool to get us all together as a group and actually work together as a group. But
it's free, I'd play it.
It seems like another one of those PvP arena fighter games. They'll be big for 6 to 8 months and then fall off the face of the earth.
Like Evolve.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with those games. I mean, it'll get big, and then you'll lose like a huge percentage, but you'll still have a core of like hardcore people who really get into it, and then
Yeah.
it's just that community. But then
For-
it's like anyone who joins it gets slaughtered by those people because that's what they
I
play.
mean, it's also like Titanfall did the same thing.
yeah.
For Honor actually is really suffering right now too. I think their Steam reviews right now are mostly negative. For
Well,
the
that's what I was
issues they've
saying in
been
the
having.
question. Like, there's some issue that they just like fixed.
There's something on, yeah, and I know that the news sites I listen to a lot mentioned that they're going through a tough time right now.
Was
Well,
it
I know
server
all their
issues,
paid
or-
DLC stuff was really expensive too. All their like bling gear you could get was like
Oh.
way overpriced.
All right, Zappity. What's your thoughts on the season 3 premiere of Rick and Morty?
It's good.
I missed it.
It was a
you
damn
missed it?
solid episode.
I did miss it.
It's-
I know it was on repeat
on a week.
all fucking day.
One of our coworkers.
It's on every night.
It's on every night.
Oh,
One of our coworkers, I asked him, I'm like, "What'd you think of Rick and Morty?" He's like, "I didn't watch because I thought it was an April Fool's joke."
That's what Jordan said. I'm like,
that
if,
Just turn to
Marshall?
the channel.
if someone tells you
Chris.
Rick and Morty's on right now, it's been on all day. Like, oh, I don't believe you. I mean, you can just look.
It was 1 year, 5 months, 29 days since Mr. Poopy Butthole said it would be a year and a half. So it makes sense. It was one of my. It's for sure top 5 episodes of the series.
All right.
It was amazing.
I would
Marshall's basically going to force me to watch that one of these days.
Watch.
you haven't
Rick and
watched
Morty?
any of
Yeah,
Rick
I
and
haven't
Morty?
watched any of it.
All right, Zappity.
Which eye do you care about less?
Just third eye.
Okay. Third eye, his inner eye.
Ugh. What are your thoughts on season? Oh wait, no, never mind. I just got that. Did any of you try that Szechuan McNugget dipping sauce? We just talked about that.
Well, no, he talked about it coming back. He didn't talk
Yeah.
about if we ever had it.
I didn't ever tried it because I mean,
I remember when Mulan came out, and I remember the commercials, but I didn't have it.
I don't remember.
Maybe I
that at
tried
all.
it once, and I just don't remember.
I don't eat sauce.
I have no idea when that
yeah,
was.
when I get
I like
nuggets,
my McNuggets just pure.
Yeah.
And uncut.
just pure, and then so you can have that nice greasy film in your mouth.
Yeah.
I eat
Okay.
Burger King nuggets.
It's
You rebel.
No, McNuggets are good.
He prefers chicken in his McNuggets.
yeah.
Chicken
Like one of those snobs. I prefer the beak. That's why I go to McDonald's.
Yeah, I like my chicken to be chicken-like substance.
Yeah.
Chicken feet is. I'm just knowing the only place you can really get chicken feet in Madison is at Journey, the buffet on the west side or on the east side, and they have cold chicken feet, and you need hot, crispy chicken feet.
All right, Zappity.
Grumble.
How does Nathan feel about the Minion theme forces?
I like them both. They're both good. Yeah, super solid.
How many free points did each give you?
Not that much. Well, a dozen or so, whatever. I mean, standard for a theme force.
Yeah.
I think they're good, and the pig one is the harder one to use because I like to use a lot of the gator stuff with the pig casters, and then the gator one's hard to be. They're very restrictive, and it's interesting in that they allow. Because of only allowing you to use half of your casters, it's not like a Signar one where you get all of your casters
Well,
and then
Jim
they
was-
have to just use trenchers.
Jim was saying circle is the only one who was restrictive, but now minions are restrictive too.
Well, the Circle Theme Force doesn't have like only half the casters in any of the Theme Force.
It's
do
only
they?
half the beasts in each.
Sure, but that's. I mean, I guess so, but that's it. It's different for the minion ones, which they get to half the beasts as well, obviously,
Yeah.
because they just have the amphibious beast or the pig beast,
Yeah.
but also the warlocks. Like you can't run Carver with Gatorman posse that have snacking and
Yeah.
stuff, and so that just makes them unique. But I like both of them. I'll play both of them, and also all of the casters have reason. Well, no, you'd never play Carver not in Theme Force, but I think all of the other casters, there's reasons to not run them, which makes them a well-designed Theme Force versus some of the other ones that are just auto uses.
Yeah, the Signar ones are pretty egregious about that.
Well, not for Haley 3
Yeah, not for Halo 3. And
until the Trencher one comes out.
even then, I don't know, because I
You
need
want Storm
something...
Blades and whatnot.
Yeah, I need something hard to hit behind that cloud wall.
Yeah, and apart from Carver, I think all of the other casters you could arguably play out of theme.
I really wish they got rid of free points. If I'm playing 75 points, I want to play me 75 points, my opponent 75 points. It's a stupid concept. I know it'll never take off.
Yeah.
But
It
so
seemed-
that,
it
that,
seemed
that
like-
ship is sailed. That's never going to happen again.
It seemed
so
like the first original versions of the theme forces didn't actually have a ton of free points in there.
it was maybe like one solo, and then it became more, and then it became
One
more,
of-
and then unit just. kinda
Yeah,
like
no,
more.
that's what it was. Yeah, it was just a you get it like
In Mark
just
II,
one-
you mean?
Yeah.
No, in the
Mark
originals
II.
of Mark III. I
The
think.
Mark III, my first Signar theme force was Storm Division, and I got 16 free points.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the Mark III theme forces
yeah.
are getting
I'm-
teens of points.
I'm playing in Merc, so I was basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
freaking
yeah.
the Cephalix
Yeah.
operating theater. How many? You get a shitload of free points in that, right?
Yep. No. Overlords, you get 2 Overlord units free.
No, I only got 16 points. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
possibly 24 points for
Yes.
free.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like I can't.
Ta-da.
So there's only 3 models each.
Yeah, I know the
That
idea of
do
just
crazy
playing a
awesome
75-point game with, I mean, plus or minus the Warjack points. But
Yeah.
now it's just.
Well, I mean, the neat thing you could do is, unfortunately, Cephalix is the only one that you can't do. You could always run steamrollers that don't have theme forces.
Well,
And
the thing
that's-
is, yeah.
That may
Like
be an
before, you'd
option.
have more of a problem doing that because when there was press gang, you'd probably be like frowned upon. But now there's no press gang, so if you want to have your store be like, our events just not theme forces,
Yeah.
it's not as big of a deal. I don't think anymore.
I don't think it'd be a big issue. I mean, obviously, the only one that can't is actually Cephalix, because that's they can't
Correct.
play without a theme
Yeah,
force.
they are. That is an unusual problem, but that's true.
They're the only theme force allowed, and who's the boss?
Okay.
Okay.
It's a true story.
So, Zappity Grumble.
Hey, we gotta go in and chat.
Somebody's asking about my reaction to the greatest Autobot leader is, and it's how Rodimus Prime and Optimus Prime sounding off.
That's a pretty cool story, bro.
Yeah, that's my. That's my
You should
reaction
have stopped
to it.
early because you said somebody asked my reaction to the greatest Autobots leader, and it's Rodimus Prime. And if you just stopped talking there, it would have been right.
No.
Yeah.
And then somebody had a one shall stand, one shall fall. It would make a really nice image to chop in half and have only the left side, which is Prime, and then
Rodimus Prime?
throw the other one away.
Optimus?
No,
Throw
it's
Optimus away?
Optimus Prime.
Well, you just said Prime, and Rodimus is the true Prime because he didn't die like a chump.
No, actually, the one over on to the right there, I believe, is just Hot Rod. I don't know.
Yeah,
believe
it
that's
doesn't look
that's
very
actually
Prime.
Prime or Rodimus Prime.
He still looks as big. I mean, even pre-Prime, he's already a tough guy.
He still gets in the way and gets Prime killed.
Prime should have been tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zappity Grumble. Is there such a thing as going overboard with Rocketeers? Thoughts on the Adepticon rules released? What? Adepticon rules released.
I don't know what that means, but the Rocketeers are dumb, and I hate people fielding 15 Rocketeers. It's stupid, and I hate you, and it's stupid.
They like killing
There
stuff.
goes a big gopher.
Yeah, freaking. What? Like, what? No.
Big
Fuck
gopher.
Rocketeers. No, that I
No,
get.
the
Fuck
Rocketeer is the best. I love the Rocketeer.
It's a good movie.
It is a great movie. It's a
There's
good
one
feel-good
Rocketeer.
movie.
Jennifer
There's only
Connelly.
one because there's only one. Yeah, yeah.
Remember in
She was
Career
young.
Opportunities when she's on the horse?
I watch
Yeah.
it every day.
Zappity.
They don't need brutal damage. Like, they're too good.
They don't
seems
need brutal
unusual.
damage.
Do
Brutal
they have,
damage is
do
too
they have
much.
brutal damage even on the blast damage?
I would agree.
No, nobody does.
I would agree on a crit brutal. If you're going to go with something like that, a crit brutal would probably be fine because then you're only going to see it X amount of times.
Well, does Joe still give him boosted, or does he give him +2s?
I think it's +2.
Okay, if Joe is +2 now, then crit might be okay because they can't just fish for crits with 3 dice.
Correct.
Well, the
But-
signs of portents it up.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Oh, they.
Although signs of portents,
signs
it's not like
portents- I know,
roulette because if
yeah,
you roll
it's-
like 655, you still don't crit.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Arctic Circle posted that he was that they're talking about the theme forces models released during Adepticon. I didn't.
What?
Did that make a change to?
They had what?
The couple of theme forces were released at Adepticon. Apparently,
That's
The
happened
KRL.
at almost every convention.
Yeah, but
so-
that didn't have anything to do with Rocketeers or the.
No, it's
the
just
theme
talking about the previous, nor the minion ones. Well, no, because the blind water was adapting. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I mean that happened at LVO.
There are
LVO
things
had
that
a
are
bunch
released.
of Signar
Yeah.
stuff that was released at the convention.
I don't understand the question.
It's basically where
Happens every convention. They have models there. The rules come out because the model's there.
correct. The command books make
it.
it more difficult because the theme force is available at the convention, but not until the book is released
Oh.
in anywhere else.
Oh, I think the Forge Seer looks cool. And that's neat. And
Yeah.
I-
Strikeoff 2 seems good.
I know. Yeah, that is an annoying thing that people are complaining about to some extent, is events that have, like you said, the theme forces are in War Room, and so they're legal at the convention, so they need to be in War Room, but nobody else anywhere on the planet can use them until the physical book of No Quarter comes out, and so some people are having difficulty understanding that, and so they'll want to come to an event and run an event,
Because it's in my war room.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fair. I mean, it's not. It's
True, but unreleased models are also in your War Room, and
Yeah.
you can't bring them because they're not out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
But I don't need a physical version of a theme force. It's just a thing.
Right, but if I had bought more number 2, is she out yet? Let's pretend she's not.
She's
Just be
not out
safe.
yet.
She's not out yet.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
great.
I don't-
If I'd bought more number 2 at Adepticon, I still don't get to take her to the Dice Dojo on Saturday.
Technically,
Doesn't matter that she's in War Room. Doesn't matter that I have her.
Yeah.
She isn't out, and
She
the theme
technically-
forces
Of
are
course,
the same way.
they still break that rule once in a while to make it more confusing.
That one time, and it's infuriating. And trust me, I made noise behind the scenes about that.
I think I know what you're talking
hate
about. It.
saying because they said so. Like there needs to be a rule, and yeah, it's Colby, Colby Jack, Colby Smulders. She was the issue.
Oh, right. Oh,
Colby
really?
Smulders was the only model so far that was
Oh.
not available on the web store.
Correct.
Oh.
She was only available to purchase at a convention. You had to physically be there to get her, and once you got her, she was legal everywhere from that day.
Oh,
Everybody else, like Butcher 3, at the very least, if you were fast enough on the web store, it technically was available to everybody on the
Correct.
planet.
People had a chance.
You had a chance. Everybody had a chance. She was not available to everybody. So it was bullshit that she was street date legal.
She was only available to people who bought it. Not at the convention. She was only available to people who got rooms at Lock and Load.
I know. She was extremely limited. So it was infuriating. Luckily, she sucked, so it didn't matter. But it was infuriating to me that they made an exception for her with no basis. She
Correct.
should have been legal at Lock and Load for people who got her. A
Yeah.
special convention thing, and then when she's general release, she's general release, just like every single other model ever.
No, but my shirt says this.
Yeah, okay. I love how many staff members reached out for me after I called that shithead out on the podcast and thanked me for calling him out.
Oh, really?
I got so many Facebook messages. It was great.
Yeah.
But I won't tell which ones.
I just no. What you should.
I wouldn't.
No.
I missed something. But that's
Oh, I called out Tam Wolf a couple episodes ago about how he's a shit pile. Also a racist. But
I don't think you mentioned that specifically, but
blocking him on Facebook made my life better.
yeah. Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that. My life improved not seeing his work.
I will say this though. So he made a post in something. I don't remember specifically what it was. He was talking about trying to embrace all newcomers coming in, and I made a response to it. I don't know if he thought I was kidding or joking or something like that. And I said you should embrace all newcomers coming in and not berate them for or something like that because you were there the longest.
Yeah. Yeah, he was my example of somebody who was in the press gang just to have a green title and an E-peen. You know, like I said, the press gang dying didn't matter because people who wanted to run events were still going to run events.
Yep.
You know, we were hand making terrain and running events before we were fucking press gangers. The people who care will keep doing that afterwards.
Yeah.
Old hash ground.
Plenty of people keep this horse running because they enjoy the game, and each area knows you need someone to run events. It's just that person's going to run events regardless of anything.
Well, I've talked to a couple people like at PEG who've been saying they're happy that the press gang has ended because now they can run events.
Yeah.
Because
You always could have.
Yeah, you can always
Maybe
could've.
other metas have shitheads like Tam Wolf that wouldn't let you, but we don't care. We're lazy.
Well,
If you're like,
well-
I want to run an event. It's like, okay, have fun.
They felt like they were stepping. They're like, well, there's this many so many press gangers. I don't want to like
Step on
they
toes.
didn't-
Yeah.
they're just-
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
trying to
I
pull
see.
I
it.
guess.
Yeah. And then they couldn't become a press ganger because the
There's too
whole
many
area
press
is flooded with press
Yeah.
gangers. We have like 45.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. The
Zappity.
point is,
Oh,
you're a bitch.
Zappity, Grumble. Recommendations. We should make them quick.
No, excuse you. Zappity, how
Oh.
many more years of Roman Reigns punching the ground before he can do it without almost falling over? I did like Andy showed me. So I've seen like 45 minutes of wrestling in the last 20 years. It's been a while since I've really watched it regularly. And 15 of those minutes was Roman Reigns, and that was enough for me to understand that the WWE was desperately trying to make him a thing, and the audience was having none of it. And it was great. And so today, Andy showed me the most recent episode of Raw, and the first 15 minutes of the episode is literally just the audience berating Roman Reigns, and then he says one thing and leaves.
Well, that's because he interrupted the Undertaker thing, right?
Yeah.
He's the one who wrestled Undertaker, but he came out to the ring. The crowd. So the crowd started off. The crowd was just chanting Undertaker for like a good 3-4 minutes or so. The crowd is very raucous because it's after WrestleMania, and then Roman Reigns' music hit, and he slowly walked down to the ring to an insane cavalcade of boos.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of booze and a lot of fuck you, Roman.
And then they cycled through. They cycled through. Shut the fuck up. Just go away. Roman sucks. Nobody likes you. Like they just did like 20 different chants, and they would just keep switching through these just demoralizing, cruel schoolyard chants. And then every time he'd raise the microphone up, they would just boo so loudly that he couldn't talk, and he just put the microphone back. And he did that for 15 goddamn minutes, and then left.
That has to be the greatest thing in the world, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it's like when the Rock they tried to shove the Rock down as a good guy, and it didn't. And the fans took none of it. They're like, this is a terrible idea.
And then they made him the bad guy.
Yeah, and then so I mean, you just have to understand that when the crowd's not accepting something, you can do something like that.
The sad part about this situation here, though, is even when The Rock was being quote unquote the good guy, when he was being shoved down our throat, you could see glimmers. You could see that he could actually really have mic control and able to talk and that. Sure. Roman Reigns, on the other hand, doesn't have any of that. He has. I'm a big tough guy, and
he's a slab of meat. He's got no personality.
Yeah, he really doesn't have. I mean, yes, he has the crowd at the palm of his hand. He can get them to boo him like no one's business. Yeah. I don't think they can get him. He can get them to ever cheer for him again.
That's fine. I mean,
now, he wouldn't have had... My big thing is he wouldn't have had, obviously, the opportunities he did, so this would have to be retroactive. But right now, The Rock could look like one of the four of us, and he would still be funny and smart and talented. Yeah. Like, he wasn't just a slab of meat, and I don't see Roman Reigns having that.
He doesn't have Mike.
Some wrestlers just turn around. Like, even Stone Cold, he talked a lot. He was more annoying than he was fun. And then the WrestleMania event happened and with Bret Michaels, and it just turned around.
The lead singer of Poison?
Yeah. That's we fought.
He took out the lead singer of Poison.
Yeah.
In an I Quit match.
Him and CC in a tag team match.
Possibly Bret Hart or Bret Michaels. One of those two people.
Maybe they're the same person.
I don't. But I'm just saying it was. I mean, literally one match, one moment turned it around. Now, obviously, he had the mic skills to back it up, but some people it just can turn around.
Nick raised the point, and that's the thing is watching the Roman Reigns thing, and I'm not sure, like looking at his eyes, I'm not sure which of these it is, because there's a difference between being a heel and playing the villain,
correct,
and genuinely being hated by the audience.
Yeah,
and I think the audience genuinely hates Roman Reigns. Like they don't love to hate him.
If I could walk out to a theater, if I could walk out to a stadium and have that many people generally hate me, I would be the greatest sensation in the world. That would be pure. I made it.
I believe that you have more mic skills than Roman Reigns has. This thing here, Omnom, in all of his video games that he's been in, when he just goes, he's got more mic skills than fucking Roman Reigns.
So I got my first 30 seconds of wrestling ever today.
God, you were like a kid in the candy store.
I was. Whoever that little dude was with the giant hair, and he was awesome.
So
I love that guy.
Because you came in after Roman Reigns had left, so you're going to ask your joint. So think of The Rock, okay?
No, I Googled him when that came up.
Listen,
okay.
Think of The Rock, okay? Now, that's the Cheerios. Now, there's the bag shit on the bottom shelf.
Yeah.
That's Roman Reigns.
Okay. Like a knockoff?
Now, you thought of The Rock.
Not even the knockoff.
Now think of Doctor Who.
The shit that gets instantly soggy the second you put milk in it.
Doctor Who would be amazing.
He's the Toastios to The Rock's honey, not even regular Cheerios, like The Rock's Honey Nut Cheerios, like the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Toastios. He's expired dollar store Toastios.
So, Nathan, before I forget, next week, the new season of Doctor Who comes out. I look forward to getting you to get caught up on it like it's 9 months from now.
Yay!
But it starts next week.
This is the last Capaldi season, right?
Yep.
Boo to losing Capaldi, but yay to losing Moffat.
Yeah. I still wish he'd stay around as a writer because his strength is writing.
He makes good episodes. He makes shitty arcs.
Yeah. he does make some brilliant episodes.
Yeah.
Well, although last season was so good because he made everything was 2 story arcs and he did so well.
Yeah, the 2-parters are good. It's the season long, and that's the thing is the weakest point of last season was the stupid, shoehorned in. Oh, we have to have the bad wolf, so this time we'll have it be the whatever hybrid.
Yeah.
We have to have a word that you hear every 3rd episode. The audience will care, and then nothing happens. Like unlike Bad Wolf where it mattered, or the Crack where it mattered. Stop it.
Yeah, I think we're actually at the point here with Roman Reigns of being. I think either he will turn that corner and actually generally be cheered, or we just. I mean, he's getting the reaction what WWE wants. He wants the crowd to engage, and cheer or boo him.
If you're a heel, you don't want cheers. That's the worst thing
He
you want.
technically is not even a heel. They're really trying to push him as a good guy.
You don't
This
beat
whole
you
time.
don't beat the Undertaker if you're considered a good guy.
Wow.
You don't beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania. The only thing that happens if you beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania is people hate you more.
No,
But
but
there's no way to.
Right, but they're trying to make him the good guy, and the audience just hates him, and that's different than making him a
But
villain.
they hated The Rock for the same reasons. You can't.
Lesnar beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
That was the worst because that was like I get this guy beat him because he's newer, but having Lesnar do it was just so it made no sense.
The match between Roman Reigns and the Undertaker was probably one of the saddest things to watch.
Well, the
it was
Undertaker
like
was
watching
old.
Shawn Michaels versus.
Michaels.
No, Shawn Michaels versus.
That would've been amazing.
I think it was Shawn Michaels versus Steve Austin at WrestleMania, where Shawn had his back all fucked up, and just couldn't. It was just disheartening to watch, because Taker just could not move. He was. Well, he's supposed to be getting hip surgery over the summer too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's been around since a couple years ago.
a couple WrestleManias.
So it's good he's retired. It's good that a wrestler is able to retire and not be dead at 42.
and not have severe brain issues.
Yeah.
Well, part of his gimmick was being gone or being beat up for a while, so he got to always be off the air for like a few months at a time because it would build it back up when he came back.
And then randomly be a biker.
Yeah, so he just got some he got lucky that way, being him off the air.
We did get to see it last.
Kurt Angle being back is pretty cool.
Kurt Angle as general manager.
I don't even watch wrestling, but I read weekly reviews on the AV Club of Wrestling.
You should watch Raw because Enzo and Cass had a sequence with Kurt Angle.
Don't know who Kurt Angle is, but I know Enzo is there, so I'm in.
I watch too much. I just watch too much TV to watch wrestling. I watch like 30 hours of TV a week. I don't have room for anything.
Well, and there's like 30 hours of wrestling a week. That's the issue. If it was just like Raw, like if it was just a weekly thing, but there's like 7 different shows.
There's Raw, there's SmackDown, there's the 2 Diva shows. You gotta watch the Diva shows because they're divas and they deserve your attention.
They do.
Hey, so
Strong, independent women.
Nickelodeon and Nick mentioned they repeated Taker's theme 5 times before he made it to the ring at WrestleMania. The ramp at WrestleMania was larger than like 2 football fields. The ramp was ridiculously huge.
Well, WrestleMania 3, they had to drive people to the theater because it was so fucking far.
It was about that same distance, except for just a giant ramp coming down from like the nosebleed seats and one touchdown part, just all the way down to the ring. It was
like
crazy
walking
long.
from one end of O'Hare to the other.
Correct.
It's like the Undertaker's flight landed and he's got a connecting flight at the other end.
And generally, every single pay-per-view that the Undertaker is on, his entrance is going to take 5 hours as well. Either he's got 30 druids walking out with torches, or he's
just on a motorcycle.
Yeah, motorcycle. He was down there much quicker.
Yeah,
Triple H has had the best entrance at WrestleMania because even gets Motorhead to play for him.
He came down on a trike this time around with Stephanie in the back. It was pretty awesome.
Like a little kid trike?
No, like
It was a big wheel. Like the intro to Bobby's World.
There's a giant, there's like a gigantic 6'5" muscular dude just trike it on in. His knees kicked way to the side because he can't fit.
Jesus Christ.
That would have been great too.
When Homer has to ride the little clown tricycle over the loop-de-loop. I'm seeing double. 4 crusties.
All right, so we should jump to recommendations. Before going over.
Oh, man.
I enjoyed this wrestling segment. This was good.
Did the superpowers collide though at WrestleMania?
What do you mean?
Did the superpowers collide?
The one's dead, so you can't really have that.
You can dig him up. Hulk Hogan's dead.
No.
What?
Macho Man's dead.
Yeah, well, so...
Wait, no, Super... Yeah, one of them is dead. With Ultimate Warrior is dead.
Ultimate Warrior, I was like...
Because it was Mega Powers.
Yeah.
Mega Powers,
Powers
that's half dead, too.
Yeah.
So...
Poor... Yeah.
But
Mystery Science Theater 3000 is my recommendation.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second. It was amazing for Kurt Angle to come out for his Hall of Fame presentation at WrestleMania, and just all the audience just yelling out, "You suck!"
Yeah.
Immediately.
And it's cool because that's the difference. When they show "you suck," it's actually a "you suck" as like a compliment.
Correct.
It's like a friendly. It's like they're saying "you suck" without the hatred. They're saying "you suck" with like a gleam in their eye.
Yeah.
Because they like him so much.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Nathan.
Does he still get to watch because of Stone Cold? Because he
No, the crowd does what all the time.
Yeah.
That goes to anybody who's on the mic. Is just a random what that you can. That's the best part about wrestling.
Yeah.
So Nathan, you're speaking. I'm going to let you finish.
I'm gonna let you finish. So MST3K, classic. We all loved it as children, and it's coming back. It's coming back within the next week. It's fucking back, people.
It's not. Oh, the old series is back on Netflix.
So more episodes hit Netflix, and so that's why it's a two-part thing here. So whenever you are not actively watching your television, turn it on Netflix, turn it on MST3K, and let it play. When you are sleeping, when you are at work, whatever you're doing, just have it play MST3K because they track that shit.
You have to have a button or something to press. Are you still watching?
I know. Well, it at least will go for a few hours.
Okay.
You know, at least you're getting a few hours. I know it'll stop after a while, but
that button is a holy fuck. I've been watching this for a while. Thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't. That comes up a lot to me. Like, oh Jesus.
but
Yeah, on my day off, I'm like, because I'm like, oh, it's dark out. How did this happen?
even if it auto stops after a few hours, at least for those few hours it'll play, and that'll show. You know what I mean? They track that stuff, and that'll help encourage to keep renewing it. But even the old episodes, like the new episodes, are coming like in a week. Like holy shit, new MST3K, and the trailer looks amazing.
I have a possible dumb question.
Yeah.
I like the people that are on it because they're funny. But the problem I have with it is they keep interrupting the show I'm trying to watch because I don't like talking during a movie.
Yeah.
Is there a version of it where they can like watch the movie and afterwards they can tell me their opinions and not interrupt it?
That's called a review.
All right.
There's a really crappy
Do
show
they have
called
a review show?
Svengoolie.
Mr. Science Theater, the review
You
show?
son of a bitch! How dare you badmouth Svengoolie? How dare you?
He's so proud of himself too.
No, I didn't think that would land quite that well.
I lived in Chicago, man. Svengoolie's go-to for me. Like,
Megan loves Svengoolie. She grew up
but
with
he
that.
talks during the
Is it
movie
a
as
person
well.
or
he
is it a
does?
food? It sounds like a name of a food you'd eat. The Svengoolie. It's a pretty good burger.
Nathan,
me
you
some
messed
of
it
this.
up.
No, it's good.
All right, so that's your recommendation. It's a strong one.
Yeah.
Jake Quimby,
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
professor-in-law.
I'm not. Everyone should watch Mystery Science Theater. Also, Face Off. I don't know why.
Which
but
one? Which face off?
The Nick Cage, John Travolta classic.
I saw that in the theater.
I did
The
too.
day it came out.
And I regret it.
Everyone fucking loved that movie. It's one of those movies that now I go, I don't like that movie. Everyone fucking loved it when it came out.
That movie surprised hell out of me. So
that movie
audience,
is terrible and amazing.
people who are in our audience, without looking it up, what is the Rotten Tomatoes on Face Off?
Too high.
It is exactly where it needs to be because that movie is amazing.
They kidnapped that kid.
They do.
Kidnap
They
that
do.
kid.
They brainwashed that kid. Also, just
Yeah.
doves everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Why were there that many doves in a
That
church?
movie is when I fell out of love with John Woo.
It's amazing. It's John Woo's second film in the U.S.
I thought it was his last film in the U.S. I thought it was his third.
No, maybe.
Didn't he do
I
like?
know his
Also
first
did
movie in the
Mission
U.S.
Impossible 2, which
Yeah.
is a dumpster fire.
That is a bad
That
movie.
is his worst movie.
That is fucking terrible. Like, I see Hard Boiled, and then I see Mission Impossible 2, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
kind of in the mood to like go on a binge of his
Hard
his old
Hard
stuff.
Target. Come on.
Hard Target.
Great.
Good.
Hard Boiled.
Hard Target.
Hard Boiled.
Hard Target.
Hard
Oh,
Boiled.
also,
Hard
if
Target.
you want to watch
Hard
an
Boiled.
absolute
Hard Target.
insane film,
Hard Boiled?
the I think
Hard
it's
Target.
1998, Island of Dr. Moreau with Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando.
Hard Boiled.
Hard Target.
Hard Boiled and Hard Target are both great.
Did you see what the Rotten Tomatoes is on it?
It's appropriate and right.
Is it like 0?
No, it's like 95.
What?
It's
Yeah, it's just, that movie's amazing.
People loved that movie when it came out.
Citizen Kane isn't at 92.
Is that like 80 some actual critic viewers, critic reviews on it?
Face Off opens with the murder of a child and only goes up from there.
That movie is great. I watched it in the theater, and I loved it then, and I still love it now. And it might have some flaws, but it is a masterpiece.
It is a very...
Every movie since then has either stolen from Casablanca or Face Off.
Or both.
Apparently, also
Your
John...
prison has electromagnetic boots. The first thing you should do when a fucking riot breaks out is turn them on.
Also, fun fact about those boots, they're the same boots used in Super Mario Brothers.
Sure, that's fine. The PKE readers from Ghostbusters are the communicators in They Live.
Oh, really?
Like, props get
That's
reused
awesome.
all the time.
Yeah.
But turn your boots on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because that would make sense. That movie is insane and is incredible for it. Well, that whole scene is
Just the fact you can take someone's face and it changes like the entire body type. Because they don't even look the same.
John Travolta.
eat a peach for hours.
John Travolta is like 8 inches taller than Nick Cage, and they make sure to say that they're the same height in the film, but they stand next to each other throughout it. They're not the same
Yeah,
height.
I mean, and Travolta's obviously more chunky than him, and there's all sorts of problems. Like, it would look so odd if you just put each other's face on each other's body. It would just be the most obviously freaked out thing.
Yeah.
There's the scars and it'd be sagging and the eyes don't line up with the socket holes. And
You know, I want to actually see I want to see like a visual of that, what that would look like in reality.
it's like in the last season of Archer when they give new skin to Barry and it's just like sloughing off.
They had like some kind of burn victim that ended up having like a face transplant.
He does
And
not look
he
like
just-
Nicolas Cage.
No, looks much better than what he did previously, but definitely you could tell that things are
There was
not
something
working
amiss.
properly. Yes.
I mean, you are right. He did. Yeah, I mean, that's what things were. Yeah.
My favorite along that lines was the mountain climber he lost his nose to frostbite. And so he just didn't have a nose. He just had a hole that you could just see his brain
So
going up this hole.
he's the Red Skull.
Well, yeah, he was like the Red Skull, so they needed to give him a new nose. But the problem is if you take a nose and put him on his face, the nose just falls off because it just dies. So they needed blood flow to the nose, and instead of like sewing a new nose on, what they did is they took the veins that were there and they made an upside down nose on his forehead
and flipped it over.
And they put the cartilage there, and it grew a nose upside down on his forehead over the course of like 4 months. And then they cut out around it except for the part right here, and then they just turned it 180 degrees and just sewed it on. So there's a little U-turn and then a nose, and it's full blood supply. It's his own flesh and blood. But for those like 6 months, he had an upside down nose above a hole in his face.
He got all the ladies doing that.
Man.
He got punched really hard.
He was immune to that thing where you punch somebody's nose into the brain,
yeah.
though. Like, he couldn't do it to him.
Yeah, because
My day has come.
All those 90s action film people who killed all the ninja that way, he was immune to them.
like in Hard
they were
Target?
powerless against him.
Yes!
Yeah, hard-boiled.
like in Hard Target.
They do that in Hard Target.
They do it in Hard Target, but hard-boiled is better.
Another great
Hard-boiled is
90s
better
action
than Hard
film.
Target.
Double
They're
Team.
both masterpieces for different reasons.
Yeah.
This is like Sophie's Choice, having to choose between Hard Target and Hard-boiled.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the mood you want to see, it is completely different
Like,
styles.
I want to see slow motion mullet turn around with leaves. and doves.
I get confused by some of the John Woo movies I haven't seen. Is Hard Boiled the one where they die in the yard reaching for each other? Is that because there's
Hard-boiled's
one
the guy with the cranes.
because there's one where he's with the blind girl and they all
No,
die.
that's not
That's a
Hard-boiled.
different.
That's his first directing film. I can't remember.
Because that one might be even better because of but both those have such
the
ridiculous-
hospital scene at the
Hard-boiled
end.
has him
the
sliding down and
hospital scene
shooting
in that
the house,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, another one you're talking about. I can't think of what it's called right now.
But it's just because it's like they die.
That's a killer.
I don't know if it's a killer,
It's
but I just know the
Not Ichi the killer.
I don't know.
but
I think it might.
But the
be.
hospital scene of that movie is just
when we just plants the gun in the potted plants beforehand.
basically
Yeah.
it's so beautiful. I have to just appreciate violence on that level.
Are we still talking about Roman Reigns?
92%.
I'm telling you, I think I was thinking the sandwich.
92%.
92%.
Yeah, it's because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Almost as good as Double Team.
He
I
has those
remember when I
gold
was,
guns that he uses like once.
I was going through something and somebody was talking
it is
about
the
Nick Cage's like top movies, and I'm like, went through and I started at
Raising
10,
Arizona.
going up, and that like Raising Arizona was in there. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I think like the either number 2 or number 1 movie was fucking Face Off, and I'm like,
And it's
how
right.
how the fuck is this up there? That
was
movie makes no
amazing.
sense.
I mean, I know he's in a million movies and it's ridiculous, but one of the movies he was in with Tia Leona is where it's like he gets put in her life. You know, it's like what if scenarios.
Yeah.
It's such a fucked up movie because it's like he's a guy who's like rich and he's like, well, what would happen if you would have dated this girl? And then he goes, it's like The Family Man.
Yeah.
So he's like he gets from the family. He actually learns that, you know what, this would have been a good family, would have been this amazing thing, and then he gets yanked out of it back to his regular life. I'm like, he took this guy who was selfish, gave him a family, he actually fell in love with it, and you just pulled it away
So
from
it's
him.
like the reverse of It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, it's
they
like-
show him a really good life and then put
Yeah.
it back to his
and he
shithole.
hunts the girl down. They hook up, but now it's like 20 years later, then they can't have kids because they're it's just too old to do what they did. That
Sure.
life thing. It's just the weirdest, like depressing. Like it's kind of like they might as well. What the hell?
Is it as good as The Cobbler?
the Pete
Well,
Cobbler?
like no,
No.
it's like
Is it the Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah, the Adam Sandler movie, The Cobbler.
Oh God,
You
Yeah.
didn't see that.
I did.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of it. I'm pretty sure my brain tried to
He keeps
save
getting,
itself.
his movies keep getting renewed at Netflix because he keeps making him so much money. You know, the Writers Guild is going on voting for strike partially because of Netflix, how much money they're making and not giving to writers. Because
Yeah.
with all the contracts for writers didn't really come into like things being streamed or being played for the for money.
The
for them.
last writer's strike was about DVDs doing the same thing.
Yeah. And every time they strike, they get fucked even worse, and they leave every strike worse up than they go into it. I can't wait to see how they fuck themselves this time.
all right. We need to jump to our
Recommendations?
last 2. My recommendation is you should watch a review season 3.
Yes, Nathan.
No more review. It's over.
This
Masterpiece
is
of.
this is the last season, and you should watch it because actually you should watch all 3 of the seasons. I don't know where they're all playing, but you cannot watch them on Hulu. Unfortunately.
they
Just
took it
buy
off
them
of
buy
Hulu, which is
buy
frustrating.
them on Amazon. There you
Yeah,
go.
just buy them.
Buy them streaming. Watch them whenever you want.
Or just buy them in general. I mean, it's actually a show I wouldn't mind physically owning.
I've been owning it much.
I would want director's commentary. I only buy DVDs if they have director's commentary.
A lot of the things that I only buy digital movies, and they still put all the commentary and stuff on there. You can still watch. It's kind of weird. You can kind of get those modes.
Well, that's
But-
good. Whichever. It's
Yeah.
DVD or not, like physical, digital, but it's the director's commentary is what matters to me. I love that shit.
I have 17 recommendations to go.
Oh my god!
Okay, hyper
I have
mood,
to
no
pee so
commentary.
bad.
Just go.
I have
Just
to pee
list them.
so bad. I drank this whole thing.
Event
All right, hold on.
Horizon.
Just gonna-
Sure. Yep. Good.
Gloomhaven,
Yep. Good.
Kong Island,
Haven't seen it.
Logan,
Yep. Amazing.
Gloomhaven.
Sure.
I have to bring that in there.
Actually, no. Just stop talking because they should already be leaving to go watch Logan.
Yes.
It is like whatever you're doing now. If you are changing your baby's diaper, just leave it. It can wallow in shit. Go see Logan.
The Kickstarter for Gloomhaven is going on right now.
More Gloomhaven?
Well, it's they're reprinting it because
okay.
it was. I mean, there was such a demand for it. It's actually bumped up to the number 9 game in board game. If you like cooperative games that are well created and story driven, and it's $100, this is. If you don't buy it now and you hear about it later, you will probably have to wait a year or 2 or 3 years to get.
Or
a
if you
chance
want an
at it.
RPG where none of you has to be the GM and it'll just do it for you, and you get that kind of feel, but you also get the board game co-op, Shadows of Brimstone kind of
Yeah.
feel. Yeah.
$50 off too, basically. So you're going to kickstart the game for the second printing for $100. Retail, it's $150.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a masterpiece. And it's I mean, it's a great
you never
game.
invited me to play it.
Well, it's only 4 players.
Yeah,
And
and
I
we have a
group.
4-player board game group.
Yep.
Sorry.
I have to buy a copy too now.
Yeah, you
Then
can
no
play
one will
with
play
Jim.
with
You
me.
can play with Jake.
Yeah, you can give it to me and Marshall, Keith.
No, I would never play with you guys. No.
I'll play with you. I'll make a different character, and we'll do different events.
I want to do it. I want to play it again and be evil.
Yeah, we accidentally became good guys, which Brian and I didn't want to do, and it happened accidentally.
It just yeah. I know. I might have to open that. I really want to know what things in that evil book. But anyway, that's it. That's my. I'll just stop at 5 recommendations. That's good for this week.
They were all good.
iZombie season 3 just started.
Also good.
Legion. You should watch Legion. That's,
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
That's
Watch
that's
Legion.
required.
Like Aubrey Plaza deserves Emmys. She was amazing in that.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Bye, everybody.